Welcome to twitch.tv/PlayStation, where we are just over 7 minutes away from the EU monthly finals for the November edition of the MK11 Open Series. Stay tuned. We have a juicy bracket. We have plenty of players locked in. You can watch this stream on both YouTube and Twitch, and we thank you for your time. See you in a few minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name's Ketchup, joined by Mustard, as always, and you are watching the PS4 Tournaments MK11 Open Series. This time, though, it's the monthly finals. It was only a few days ago, really, that we were able to crown our 4th weekly champion of November, and a fast month it's certainly been. But as always, with the monthly finals, there's a bit more cash to play for, a little bit more of the kind of bragging rights, being able to say that you were the final monthly champion, you know, for this point, as we go into our next month of competitive Open Series action. Now, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, Mustard, I think is fair to definitely say, but also a mixture of pre-ultimate and post-ultimate in the same month. And we've had a good fair few winners in the entire month of November. As you can see here, we've had Nivek Desated before Ultimate, and then since Ultimate, it's been Ed Napier and Aso Damatsa merely a few days ago. So it's been a good month for Europe. We always have a lot of different names, and usually we would say by now, less so in North America, where the Mighty Unjust has typically been unstoppable. However, in the month of November, it could not be further from the truth. Mighty Unjust starting off strong, but then Biohazard taking the win, and the last couple of weeks, Ice Scorpion has proven to be the unstoppable one in North America, where we are seeing different results every single week as the game has shaken up to its core so much. And that really is the biggest thing that we'll be talking about and have been talking about over the last kind of week and a half of competition, as even though we're into our 3rd tournament in, you know, week and a half or so, we have a new version of the game. MK11 Ultimate is out. Custom variations are the norm and will be the norm for the foreseeable, which does come with it certain variations. Now we've seen a few tournaments where we are seeing specific variations used, right? Combinations that we hadn't seen in tournament that we're now seeing. For example, this Cetron variation right here with the teleport, the deadly wind, so the tornado for the armor break, and the earthquake. This has been the go-to Cetron variation in Open Series right now. We have seen this to use, to win 3 of the 4 most recent events across Europe and North America. A lot of players are using it, players that were kind of really just pocketing Cetron before, or even bringing this out and doing amazing things with. Definitely one of the strongest variations in the game, but not absolutely categorically unbeatable, as many of these matches are going down to kind of like game 5, last round. I think it really is something that players are really having to kind of like scratch their brains to really figure out what their answer is for it. As you know, players like Unjust, we're seeing use different characters every time, you know, as he is that kind of experimental player, and players in Europe kind of just sticking to their guns, trying to really make it work. But that does mean we're seeing a lot of potential creativity among the rest of the cast. And I think it's time for us to introduce a new segment where we're going to talk about some potential variations that we personally would love to see, that we think have a really good place in the game right now. So starting with you, Ryan, what have you got? Because we actually don't know what variations each other's going to say. Production kept us quiet.
We don't know what variations each other has picked, and also production are playing one of the 2. So it's actually a bit of a mixed bag for both of us in this sense. But the Age of Custom does let you play kind of however you want. And the first one that we're covering here is actually the variation that I'm playing myself, and I'm really, really enjoying it. But at the same time, I actually think it could be quite strong. The Purple Pain. Now, the Geisha Palm, that down back one, that air conversion, it's kind of the one slot everyone takes in every variation because it's a very good move. Some people think maybe even, you know, irreplaceable. But don't count out the Lightning Strike. You know, it's slow on startup, and I know that it kind of feels a little bit weird on first glance, but trust me that the more you play it, the more you kind of figure out the right situations. On Meterless, it's like plus 50 something on block, over plus 60 when you amplify it, and it combos on amp anyway. So I actually do think the longer this game progresses, the more powerful we might start to see the Lightning, the more players get familiar with how to use it. And I think that this is a very important portion to just get people thinking outside the box and using different moves that you might not have considered. Don't always follow the trend of what players are telling you to use. This is all about creativity, and if you think something's good, there's, you know, nothing stopping you from trying to go a bit mental with it.
And we're in a situation where Rain is still a new character, and we've already seen him a handful of times in the open series. But it's, again, the lightning is one of those moves we haven't seen yet. The character himself is still new. People are still figuring out Rain as a whole. Where
it's always been my favorite move he's had, so I was always going to go in with that for sure.
But no, a lot of the existing characters, we know how they're played, we know what to expect, and then here comes these other moves that we haven't seen yet. Whereas Rain is kind of everything is fresh. So I think if anyone's going to experiment with it, now would be a good time. But one of my potential variations I would love to see is, funnily enough, actually the Fujin variation that I've been playing the most. But there's a reason I've picked this one, and this isn't just because I play it and I want to talk about it. Arsenal and Skywalker are... This has kind of become what I would think the most common pairing of attacks with Fujin, because this makes him so strong, right? Skywalker is his strongest ability. It's one slot. It gives him a launcher. It gives him pressure. It gives him mobility. It gives him bigger bang off of his best buttons. And it's all done for one slot. The biggest problem by itself is it's very meter intensive. If you take Arsenal, that is no longer a problem. Arsenal lets you do tornado and wind kick in the air, which does work out of Skywalker. You can do Skywalker, spend the bar on the way up, use the tornado in the air to come down instead of defensive bar like you normally have to do. And now you have a meter efficient version of this two pairing of moves that is incredibly strong. But the main point of me saying that there is the pressure bomb. The pressure bomb is straight up pressure and setups for a character who has one of the strongest base kits in the game. For the amount of Fujin players that are out there, I feel like Pressure Bomb is criminally underrated. I cannot stress enough how much I think this move is really powerful for a character like Fujin. You take what he has as a base and you throw legitimate setups and potential set play with amazing pressure on top of it. I think it's definitely something that we could see used in the future, and I hope we get more to it. But so enough of our theoreticals. Let's talk about what we're actually seeing today in the open series.
Indeed, we have a bracket to go through and a first match that is pretty much locked and loaded with both players ready to play. Dangus versus Law Corridor, Nivek versus Omi, Monstar versus K-Top, of which the first time we're actually seeing K-Top in the Open Series top 8, so very excited for that. And then finally, Asadamata versus H-Dope. So this is the first time in MK11 Open Series history that the brothers of K-Top and H-Dope have been in the same top 8 and might even play against each other if they have exceptionally good performances and winners. But again, let's just look at the potential characters here. Law Corridor playing mostly Joker, more than Jackie. Now, I know Joker really is his favorite character, so custom Joker is, that is untapped right there, and I'm sure we'll be seeing that a lot more. Dangus playing Spawn. Custom Spawn is another thing that I think can be absolutely insane. And then the list goes on. We'll talk about it when appropriate. But before we get into our first match, I really want to hit home that we still have one more month of Open Series action before the end of the year, and it will be continuing through December. If you're playing MK11 right now, and you are of North America or EU/CIS, you can go to compete.playstation.com, whether you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch. Shout outs to you lovely people. Thank you very much for spending your day with us, and hopefully you enjoy the show. But if you want to play, go to that link right down there. You can scroll down on the webpage. It takes you to the competition center where it tells you how to get signed up, how to compete. It's all done through the system. It's a very easy process, and it's every single week. So 5 tournaments taking place over the month of December that you can still take part in. And if you're playing custom variations here and you're having a good time, then test your mettle against the region's best.
So I think it's time for us to start talking about our first match. But briefly,
yes,
just as we do load into this, I want to remind those of you watching as well that this is the monthly final. So many of you, I assume by now, are Open Series regulars. We have been doing this for just over half a year at this point, and we're going into our 7th month very soon. You're used to seeing the weeklies where, there is a decent amount of prize money to play for, and that's about it. The monthly finals are comprised of the best performing players throughout the 4 weeks. They will then all be invited back to a specific tournament as a final. It's usually about 64-man bracket, where they will play down to top 8 in the normal fashion. What is not the normal fashion is there are basically double the prize money to play for. So there is a lot more on the line today. First place taken home just over $400, and the first match of the day is going to be Dangus versus Law Corridor. Now, Law Corridor we haven't seen in a very long time. We did talk about its potential to play Joker, and that's mainly what we're expecting. But Dangus, I really want to talk about Dangus a little bit. This Spawn player, we've known Dangus as a fan of real big body characters, long limbs, big damage. He's played those a lot in the past
Russian
in
powerhouse, man.
But So
Oh,
it actually looks like
boing.
he is still playing the 1. So even though customs are a thing, still a believer in those air float combos, which to be fair, do give you tremendous damage output. This is damage spawn through and through, unchained.
So
Russian
we kind of
reality
have,
spawn.
we
Let's
have
go.
more to talk about with Law Corridor because he's taken Boing, which is a super jump. This was originally a custom-only move, obviously now very different indeed, but it essentially allows Law Corridor, who you'll know him as an upgraded player as well, he's pretty much just taken both of his mains and put them in a blender. Joker with a super jump is pretty much upgraded Joker, so let's see what he can do here. He's a very confident player, he's a very cocky player, but that is going to be big damage. Here we go, charge, bang, bang. Can't challenge this.
Ooh, spending 2.
Oh.
Ooh.
Drops the ender, still does 50%. That is Spawn.
That is MK9 flashbacks. Dropped the combo and still did a half-life flat.
I mean, Cyrax is in the background. Look at it. It wouldn't be right. It would be right. However, the first round came to an end. The problem is Dangus missing that combo in the corner at the very end. He did the damage, but he lost the restand and gave up the positioning. And that gave Law Corridor a way back in. No, he doesn't commit to a jump in from the float. I think he was looking for some kind of punish there. Now, the variation.
I like the way you mentioned it, though, where you say it's almost like the upgraded Joker effect, where you have that super jump with a character like Joker, but he's also taking the low gunshot. So if you do want to sit full screen against the super jump, you are dealing with some of the highest chip damage. But he's also got that, right? The upwards jack in the box. So you've got setup potential and breaker pressure. This is quite a versatile Joker. A Joker by himself, one of the strongest base characters in the game. Oh, plus frames off the jump kick into the throw.
Now, Dangus knows the matchup. You know, when he expects that low shot, he's going in for the instant air glide. Normally something you don't normally see because it is unsafe and easy to anti-air. But right here, that is the restand he's looking for. He doesn't tend to end his combos in down 2 unless it will absolutely kill. Dangus likes the restand, which also has crazy damage if you have it anyway.
It's because a lot of Dangus's pressure is kind of like dash up down 1, and you'll see him do that a lot, and there is a reason for that. Nice anti-air, the reactions. So one of Spawn's main problems is that he has a lot of recovery if his moves whiff or even connect, where he'll do a button and he won't be able to move for a while. One of his few buttons that doesn't have that problem is his down 1. Really fast recovery, it's his fastest button by far. So if you catch someone jumping, you could pick up. There's the read on the breakaway, chooses not to amp Dangus. You know, the first time we saw Dangus, the Russians did say he is, in their opinion, the best Spawn they've seen. We're definitely seeing a lot of that knowledge coming through. But because he's used to that down 1, the restand gets even more dangerous. Because every time he hits it, you're going to have to worry about, is he going to dash up and do this? Pick up, Law Corridor, second bar spent. Another hit towards that KB. Oh! A smooth up.
Actually, that might even do it. Because bang.
No, one off.
Maybe he doesn't have it. I know there was that break where it was forced away. Confirm, Dangus.
Uh-oh.
You have to fatal blow just in case you try to break.
I love this decision. Spend the fatal blow on this and keep a bar, because Law Corridor still doesn't have defensive bar, I don't think. So if he gets hit now,
Well, he's just built it. He's just built breaker.
He can do unbreakable.
Oh,
Dash up grab. Is that enough?
But now, no, the projectile gate. No last breath for you, Dangus. Oh no, the revenge. He knows his enemy, Law Corridor. When Law Corridor takes a game off you, you know man's gonna press the down input on his D-pad 100%. And I think that's Dangus saying, tasty very medicine. But the thing about Law Corridor is,
he's just really going for the trophy. That's all. There's no malice there. He just wants the trophy. My days.
The old my days, which
yeah,
you know, we're not gonna take full credit for that, but you know, we're gonna take full credit for that. Being in the game.
Wow, but Dangus.
We don't say all my days enough in MK11. We don't say it enough.
But what I love about that, though, is the composure from Dangus, right? Like, he was severely down in that last round, but like, and this is a big reason why I imagine Dangus is still playing with the air glide. I feel like this is the first time I've seen a Spawn player since customs were a thing still playing what is effectively the 1, you know, where you've got charging hell Spawn.
I mean, there is a chance that he might not use it for every matchup, but in this matchup against the low gun shot, maybe this is the piece of utility he wants. You know, I do feel like a lot of Spawn players here, and I think you might agree, like they'll take the charging hell Spawn, and then that one slot they kind of just keep for assorted utility. And in this matchup, the utility is the air glide. Uh-oh, nothing confirm. Double jump.
That was a down 2 as well. Oh, no, he missed it.
Again, missing out on that is quite big, though. Missing out on the restand when that's specifically what you're going for does give your opponent an opportunity to escape. There's the boing! And a combo!
Pick up. I think he must have turned off, though. No, yeah, he actually didn't have an ender to use there, I don't think.
Take this time. Wow. Dude, that jump in, that leap.
Oh, I haven't seen that. No, the amplified back forward 4 into the super jump. I haven't seen that yet. That's really interesting. Oh, plus frames. Yeah, he was expecting to disrespect, but low corridor. Oh, I wonder if that was calling out a duck. You have to remember, if you do that standing 3-4, the 2 hits of the chains, if you turn that into fireball to try and make it safe, you actually can duck it. So I wonder if he was calling out the duck and tried to charge instead.
Smart play though from Law Corridor. Law Corridor's not going to be too risky there. He's known as being very high octane and aggressive, but still a smart player. You know, if he knows there is an option, he won't, you know, kind of go for the big risk every single time. And that was one of those occasions. Now, sets up into super jump. I like that.
Now this is a very Law Corridor Joker. I'm absolutely seeing why he's got this super jump.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now he'll amp it just in case there, I think. You know, the damage is more important than not, so you may as well use the bar. However, this corner pressure for Spawn, what's Law Corridor gonna do? Gets clipped, double jump in, boom, boom, and that is the ender he's looking for. Oh, sent for a confirm. That is Spawn, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go again. The duck on the jump kick, though. With punish! That's the round. Boom! Boom again!
What a clean round, Dangus.
You can tell why he's going in for the glide. I mean, this is why he's taken the glide.
400 damage confirms into restand. Why not? Oh god, I know it was coming. The super jump just to get out of the corner. Dash in down 1. Oh, but that will be a down 2. Now, damage you kind of have to concede. Could have been a lot more. Instant neutral jump. Big damage for Law Corridor now, and he'll build towards that all-important crushing blow. Why do I feel like this series has every potential to go down to the wire, Mustard? I feel like this is going to be a rig. Absolutely could, but I don't want to count out Dangus. Just because Dangus is down on life and bar does not mean anything. He's about to get that fatal blow. This is the exact same scenario he was in the last game, and he pulled it back.
Now, and this is the Spawn with the charge. Law Corridor, he's not going to press yet. If he presses here with no breaker, he could actually lose, but that's a big call out, Law Corridor, the revenge. But he'll do it a little bit longer. Is he fatality or friendship? You know, I'm actually honestly surprised Law Corridor would ever friendship someone. That just doesn't feel like...
No, it's the character development. It was fatality after every game, and now he's saying, hey, no hard feelings. Friendship, next game.
Have a balloon. Have a balloon.
Have 3 balloons. Actually, no, 3 balloons. The writing are balloons as well. So never mind. Doesn't matter. I'm thinking out loud. Good set so far, though. No, I love the way Dangus is stuck with the air glide, because I feel like every Spawn we've seen has gone for like charge and soul forfeit, charge and low gun, charge and, you know, whatever it may be, but never the glide. Whereas the glide and the charge still gives you the highest single bar damage combos that Spawn can do. You know, like, and it is definitely a utility trade-off. But if you feel comfortable enough with Spawn as a base, then I mean, I feel like if you were feeling good before, you don't really need to change. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And also as well, thanks to the crouching hitbox adjustments that a lot of characters have received, Fireball connects on block against a lot more, you know, consistent situations now. So even this version, even though it's the same move, still kind of received a small buff in terms of the Fireball is better on block now. So definitely not a bad pick at all. I do wonder if it is, as you suggested, maybe it is just the charge is the main move and the third slot is utility. Now, is that utility got to be the float for damage or mobility maybe? Like, are there going to be other things? I kind of want to see Dangus win just so we can see if that's the case. Oh my lord, you got so much time to confirm off that, don't you? Bam! Confirm again. I mean, it is a 1-slot setup tool. Is that jumping, you know, the airborne jumping jester. One of the strongest setup tools in the game, in my opinion. I actually like that late break from Law Corridor as well, that he didn't break instantly just in case Dangus tried to make the call out. Concede a little bit of damage with a solid life lead. However, that's confirmed. Boom. Double glide. Now the restand, what's it going to be? There's again, always dash in down 1. The second you respect that, you know, dash in other buttons are a thing too. Oh. Really using that as his best mid in that respect. You know, a nice, fast, instant option. But he can't get clipped here. Oh, expects a stagger, I think, right there. Because he instantly raises his block. Like standing 3-4, that is a high, but you can't really duck it. Because if you do duck it, because of Spawn's fast movement speed, you might get like dash up forward 4, dash up down 1 into, you know, jailing advantage. It may as well be mid a lot of the time.
Lord Corridor's playing this exceptionally
Oh,
well.
he definitely thought that was
making a
punish.
call out. Oh, dearie me. Well, it didn't. Here comes the damage and the super jump. Puts himself into the corner though. But it doesn't matter.
Definitely unfortunate. Oh! I do not think Lord Corridor was expecting that to connect.
Dangus has gone for big reads here, and pretty much none of them have worked. But here's the pickup. The instant mid. Really expecting a challenge, but Joker able to challenge in return thanks to long-range buttons of his own. And here comes more of it. The sequel. What's it going to be? Fatality or friendship? Or nothing? You slow down the pace and nothing. He makes you sit through the whole thing, does Lord Corridor. But this set ain't over yet. This is only 2-1.
You have to remember, Dangus, he did take that first game on the back of I mean, it was technically a comeback, but a situation where I can promise you Dangus wasn't feeling like he was behind. Because you just have characters like that where you could be massively down on life, but because you know what you are capable of doing with one good opportunity, it doesn't really feel like it. Especially if you've got the bar, and Spawn, definitely one of those characters. But I think the biggest problem that Dangus is having here, though, is it's that neutral. It is that kind of that essential Joker style that, you know, Lord Corridor, all jokes aside, you know, everyone memes about, you know, the Kombat League trolling and the trash talk, and, you know, there's definitely a lot to be said for that. But when you take that away, Lord Corridor is still a solid player, and he has definitely got the right characters for his playstyle. Whether it was Jackie before, I've only really seen him play Joker since Ultimate, so I can only imagine he's only really playing Joker nowadays. You look at this variation, you look at the super jump, you look at the setup potential, and you can understand why this is working for Lord Corridor. But then you look at this specific matchup, and I mean, Lord Corridor, he's played this before. You can tell, like, he knows how to play this matchup. He's keeping him at arm's reach. He's not overextending too much. I mean, look, he has a life lead straight away, but an instant anti-air. Dangus, one of the first times I've had a chance to see him do that. Spawn standing 3 anti-air. But also, you'll notice as well, Dangus, he's barely doing any throws anymore. And I wonder, it's because, like, one of the first throws he did early in the set, Lord Corridor instantly just ducked it for an uppercut, for a KB. I wonder if Dangus is just worried that because Lord Corridor is definitely the kind of player to make those big decisions.
Oh, he's fearless.
Definitely putting Dangus
Very
off going
so.
for throws at all.
He's the kind of player that really won't care in that situation. Lovely air-to-air. Good stuff there from Dangus with this corner pressure, but this is an element of the matchup which is quite interesting. Spawn, he's used to having very oppressive range, you know, range that is hard to challenge. I think my Joker is, he knows a thing or two about range himself, and Lord Corridor knows when to get those buttons on deck, so Spawn can't just kind of sit and control the screen here. Now he makes a read on a grab, goes for an immediate jump, but he still has to hold the rest of the pressure. Here comes the amp again, and he goes into the mid. Oh, catches it for the wake-up up 3. Fearless from Lord Corridor. And this time, it's not going to catch him at all. Match point for Lord Corridor right here. This custom Joker, the super jump looking pretty good, but also just the base kit of Joker coming in strong.
And that right there, the amplified jumping Jester, and your opponent is respecting it, it really keeps them locked down. Again, Lord Corridor, he's been able to do so much with a life lead. He's been literally able to start each round with it. Because it seems very hard for Spawn to actually be able to avoid the back forward 4, but again, no KB, no bar to spend it either. Came back mid-animation, and again, these setups. There's the hit confirmed, Dangus. A late breakaway as well from Lord Corridor.
The late breakaway is coming from just in case Dangus doesn't spend the meter expecting a break. You know, Lord Corridor, he'll be happy to concede. Oh, dearie me. And that's going to be some more damage. Pretty much 30% right there. And this is looking like a last lifeline.
Now, though, because he's definitely got the KB, I think. Actually, no, he didn't spend it, so I don't think so. But now with this health, it will kill anyway. And the forward 2 right as Dangus goes up. And hyper speed disrespect.
Does he mercy?
Corridor.
No, he doesn't. No more mercies, though. Lord Corridor doesn't seem to mercy in tournament anymore.
And the fatality to end 2.
Character development.
I don't like how perfect that circle is, considering the glove that made it is not the same shape.
Well, you know what? Sometimes it just be like that. Look at that.
I love how you look at
exceptionally weird, actually, with Spawn's green blood. I like that. I like that a lot.
Like
good games.
It's almost not gross against Spawn because it doesn't even look like. It almost reminds me of those, like, you know, those like kids TV shows you watch when you're in school, and it's like, you know, the goo and what am I talking about? The kind of like the TV shows where there'd be loads of like slime and game shows, and it's like,
oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Pour the bucket of green goo on this whatever it is, and win a prize. That's what I think of when I see Spawn. Or like aggressively sour apple candy.
Well, do you remember when Gyrus used to have blue blood? It actually gave even more energy of that back in the day. Back in the release, I think it was the reveal build.
In fact, I remember us having this exact conversation about a year and a half ago. No, actually, closer to 2 years, because the reveal was January of almost 2 years ago.
Please don't say it. Don't say it.
I know.
I don't know where the time has gone. Anyway, moving on. Nivek and Omi. Now, Omi, prominent Sub-Zero main, and the kind of ultimate Sub-Zero wave. There's a lot of creativity and options for players that like this character. You've got the neutral tools, you've got the mix, you've got the safety, you have pretty much a little bit of everything. And I think Sub-Zero players are having a good time now, picking and choosing what things they really want to use. Now, Nivek definitely going in with that buff graded, the kind of leap, the air blast, and the grenade launcher combined.
So actually,
variation
on that topic,
that he's really enjoying.
No, but on that topic, I do want to interject because I feel like we are about to see a really good example of the two elements of customs right now, where some characters like the Jackie and like the Cetrion are kind of having those, like when we see these characters right now, it is with one variation, right? With Jackie right now, it is that Nivek variation where we actually do have a graphic we maybe could potentially show for it of this Jackie variation, which is going to be the most relevant now because this is what Nivek is going to play. 1000% this is what Nivek is going to use. It's the monthly finals. There's more money on the line. And it is upgraded without the ground pound and with the grenade launcher instead. So you have the enhanced air blast to amplify your air shrapnel. Grenade launcher, which just gives you the kind of, the next gen. We've seen Sunio use it a lot. The area denial, the damage over time. You put things on the floor to do damage just for the opponent standing in it. And of course, last but not least, the bionic bounce. This has been an incredibly popular variation competitively since customs were a thing. It kind of undoes one of the main nerfs that Jackie received in this patch, which is damage nerfs off of the leap and its options. So traditional upgraded has taken quite a significant damage reduction. However, the grenade launcher does more damage than the shrapnel, so if you're using this variation, you're practically doing pre-patch damage. You lose the mix-up on your options of the ground pound because you have the grenade launcher instead, but you have a ton of damage and a ton of damage over time, and it's really good. It's a lot of utility. It's a very scary variation, and in the hands of someone like Nivek, very dangerous. But the reason I'm talking about this now is that is one side of customs where you have like a character with a variation that is being seen without much variation so far, without a lot of changing. And then you have Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is not that character. Sub-Zero is one of the most versatile characters in terms of custom options. Whether you want amplified ice, because that's 2 slots. You can have amplified ice and creeping ice, amplified ice and rising ice for damage. You can do rising ice air axe. You can do the straight projectile shot. You can still do, almost every move, right? Yeah, almost every move has a use in some way. You are not going to see one Sub-Zero variation used and nothing else.
In this case, though, it is deep freeze and creeping ice, which, to be fair, is very much at this point becoming kind of the most popular variation for a lot of Sub-Zeros because it plays the base Sub-Zero game well, doesn't it?
But
you have the safety of creeping ice, you have the commitment if you want to for the big mix, but also, conversions, footsies. This is very much a MK11 variation.
This is the variation that the Dead of Winter players are going to. You notice a lot of the other Sub-Zero players that didn't really play a lot of Dead of Winter are using completely different ones. The only move that you see all the time, for the most part, is creeping ice.
Now, I'll tell you what is really important, actually, and notable, and a reason why it's the case. A lot of Sub-Zero players absolutely consider his base slide to be a better version of the slide. Now, Dead of Winter has the cold shoulder, right, which is a specific move that replaces that base slide. So when you give yourself creeping ice and the deep freeze, you're actually kind of giving yourselves two moves for the price of one, because you're removing the cold shoulder, giving yourself the basic slide, which is totally different as a move, and then you're getting the asset of creeping ice. Now, in that entire time it took to talk about it, the first round is already done with Nivek. This variation really speaks for itself, right? It is the leap, it is the pressure, but it is the slightly more ranged presence and damage factor of that grenade launcher. So there's really not much. Oh, try to anti-air.
I will never get used to just how far that jumping punch goes with Jackie. It is deceiving. Oh, Winston.
Absolutely. Now, there's that deep freeze for conversion again. The breakaway happens, 220 damage, pretty much already dished out. Looking for a whiff. Not quite there. Wow, that's the downforce slide. Big reward, though. as it bags 30% just like that. Unbreakable as well. Not that it matters with Nivek having no defensive bar, which actually might hurt him a little bit later because now just don't get hit. You get hit now, Nivek, you've lost this round. Oh, no, he tries to add the armor break.
No, this is going to do so much damage. We're going to be looking at least 500 is my guess.
Bang, bang, bang. To drop kick.
Actually, maybe not quite. 5% off. 5% off.
But look at the damage on the floor. If there's one thing that Ice Ball's not going to do, it's really any damage whatsoever.
Oh my, for the lead. Oh my goodness, and
that, no, I tell you, that is uncharacteristic of Nivek to do something like that. But you know what? I kind of think that might be why he did it. You don't expect Nivek to do a full screen leap like that, and the second it does, takes you immediately by surprise.
Especially when he's winning neutral. Because if you're winning neutral, i.e. like you've got a life lead, you know your opponent doesn't have a way to chip you down from full screen, then, you know, to do something like that, to take what is effectively a big risk. That super jump was definitely a risk. If Omi was ready, even remotely, it could be an easy anti-air. You know, Nivek didn't really have a lot of bar himself to really make anything work. But because of that, it is like you said, right? It was such an unexpected thing. That's probably why Nivek did it, because it was so. I mean, if we weren't expecting it as commentators, we were just watching the match. You know, Omi, the one playing, the one in the stressful scenario, you know, in the same kind of boat, right? Can't always be ready.
So, Omi, this is a different element. So, Omi, I've actually only ever seen him use Sub-Zero, but you are starting to see players start to kind of play different characters because now other characters can play a way they really want to. Now, this is something that we see a lot now, Delia's Dance. And this is becoming like Sub-Zero with the Deep Freeze and the Creeping Ice. A lot of Jade players are rocking that Deadly Assassin, the Razorang, Delia's Dance, because it's safety, it's annoyance, it's a little bit of zoning, but it's also the increased strings. Like, this Jade's looking pretty good. Although you do lose that big corner conversion potential because Delia's Dance replaces your kind of spin.
I mean, Delia's Dance pretty much turns down any chance of damage you might have, but in favor for a lot of safety and a ton of chip damage. And that's where, again, this is one of those variations. It's all built around making Delia's Dance better. The Air Glaive for neutral control and plus frames gives you things on block, which you turn into Delia's Dance. The extended strings gives you more damage on hit and block before you inevitably Delia's Dance. It's all about making that one. I mean, look at the name, Shall We Dance? It's literally named the variation after it. It's about making that one move as good as possible.
Reminds me of that Johnny Cage movie quote where he talks to Goro and he's like, "All right, let's dance."
Although, more appropriate now, thanks to the movie skins. So hopefully we'll see them later too.
It is definitely canon. If we get a Raiden player in either of these two brackets today, I expect Christopher Lambert. There is no in between.
I actually haven't seen Custom Raiden since when it came out, so hopefully we'll see it eventually. Late jump in.
And Omi, no opportunity to break, so we're just going to end the combo. Goes for the leap, damage on the floor. Even with this grab, it's not an amazing win for Omi because look how much damage he's taken. Oh,
I've never seen it. Oh, the catch!
Oh, the reach!
Just enough. It's a good job that it's a good job that hit killed because the kicks were not going to hit. They were definitely about a whiff.
Oh. I imagine that would have been absolutely for the final hit to connect. Now that's the confirm into the nitro kick, right? That will kind of fix the issue. If it hits too far away, it won't work. Just do nitro.
Still did 220 damage too. Don't tickle. Oh, neither will this.
Oh, the break on the first hit. So saving yourself a little bit of a situation, but not much. Now, as the break comes out, they trade breakers, and now plus frames, flawless block, doesn't quite get the punish. That's definitely a bit of a two-parter. I believe it becomes -10, that string, which is actually kind of tricky to punish sometimes.
It does go punishable. But again, the existence of Delia's Dance being a threat. Oi! Ah, yeah. Oh, speaking of which,
that's a very quick and rapid 16%. Now, the golden rule, don't get hit. Oh no! The drop
execution error, Nivek had it!
Yeah.
Nivek's game, he dropped the combo. Nobi is given a shot back into it, and then the extended sweep as well. I forgot she even got that. But I like this pick from Omi though, because even pre-patch, people were saying, you know, I mean, Sonic Fox specifically, one of the most loudest voices for saying that Jade straight up annihilated Jackie. It was definitely a contested point. You know, there was no real definitive answer. You know, people would always have different opinions on it, but there was an argument for Jade to be a very good pick against Jackie. You know, the glow goes through the shrapnel options. In this case, it will immune the grenade launcher as well. So if you're looking at effectively the upgraded style of Jackie, where you've got super. It's really built around super jump and air shrapnel or air blast in whatever fashion it may be. The glow makes that immune. The uppercut is like was it 9 or 10 frames? Some super fast uppercut, one of the best in the game by far. As like just a get off me tool. You reset neutral on block thanks to Delia's dance. Like, I think this is a really smart pick from Omi. I think this is definitely built to deal with the character a lot more. Nivek only really plays Jackie nowadays, so it's not like you're really having to plan against other characters. I think this is a really good pick from Omi.
Yeah, if you play competitively, having an answer for Jackie has always been quite important. I definitely think even more prominent now. By the way, I do love and always have loved that air glaive, the ability to just get really good damage from that amp if they try and jump in. Lots of room to confirm. However, instantly turned around. The Brave wake up 3. Delia's dance back into even more of it. And the staggers, so good. Naomi, you expect the Delia's dance on the end of everything, and then you wait for your turn. Just stagger into a grab. It's a really cheeky little mix-up and a solid first round. However, this is where Jackie wants to be. Closing in the space. No break from Omi, saving the bar. Now, will the bar be used on Wake Up? Having to hold all of this pressure. And there's that down 4 into Delia's dance again.
Safe as well, because if you amplify it, safe as houses. I love this pick from Omi. I didn't even know he played anything but Sub-Zero. This is the first time I've ever seen him not use Sub, and this character looks very prepared.
Well practiced too. However, a bit of a drop on the edge there. That's a punish! Now, this is where things do get a little bit different. You're not going to have much room for punishment. You know, that really is as good as it gets. You get the punish there as well. Staggering it into another grab.
Unless you can somehow find a forward 2, but that is not punish speed. Oh, tries to go for a meaty kick.
Which I'm actually kind of confused about, the meaty kick on Wake Up. I do wonder what the intention was there. Oh, enough of your staggers, says Nivek. Come here. Take this. Really good damage now, and the pressure.
Oh, Nivek jumps himself into the corner, though.
Oh, the raw fatal blow! That's the
crouched.
Kombat League special right there.
No, but Nivek crouched. He didn't know. He didn't stand block. That's an overhead, Nivek. Oh, dear. I can guarantee Nivek is sitting in his chair right now and he's going, man, why'd that got to be an overhead?
Well, I just saw a remark saying, you know, maybe the meaty nitro kick for armor break, but there's no, you weren't able to do armor in that situation, were you? Because
unless you do a wake up fatal blow and you deliberately delay your meaty by 8 frames, but I don't think so. I think that could have just been an input error.
Maybe. But you know what?
It doesn't matter. Regardless, it doesn't matter. She won the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that is a very upsetting thing to get hit by as well. That raw fatal blow that you crouch block. You know, Nivek, he knows it's overhead, but in that one split second, it's like, oh, why was I ducking? Like, we've all been there. But let's really talk about this adaptation from Omi. The fact that there's clearly been some kind of, option here. And Nivek, he's thinking about other characters. He has played others in the past, just nowhere near to the level
of his Jackie. But he has played Spawn, Kotal Khan, Fujin, Cabal. He played at start.
All the way? No, it's Jackie all the way. Okay. So one problem Nivek tends to have is that although he does play multiple characters, I don't think he is as prominent swapping between them on the fly as a lot of other players. Because he's often been, and historically has been, a one-character specialist. That changed a little bit in Mortal Kombat X, where he started to play a little bit of Takeda and Raiden. But then in Injustice 2, it was almost entirely Supergirl all the way. And then in this game, this is really where he started to play multiple. But he's still not particularly amazing at constantly changing between them, because he just gets so invested in one pick and he grinds it out, which is I think why he's thinking about other characters. But Jackie is the final pick because it's where he's the most comfortable. Let's win 2 straight games here. Omi with this change to Jade early on, which is working wonders against Jackie. A lot of players using these custom moves and custom variations to just look at a matchup and go, what is my absolute answer to this character? And Omi, for now, looking like Delia's dance, Jade is that answer.
I mean, you keep her at arm's length. You've got longer range than her. You have good anti-air options. The glow immunes the real problems.
That's a good trade.
I can definitely see the idea behind this. Excuse me.
With punish.
With punish.
But even that is not a bad 22% whip punish. You would think that those enhanced strings don't do much for her, but being able to just do Nitro Kick. And the amp, Nivek looking a lot like he's probably not fought this variation much, I have to say. He's looking kind of lost here. What a change this was from Omi. Would anyone have expected this? And then you have to have the matchup knowledge as well.
I've known Omi as pretty much a Sub-Zero exclusive player, so not only is it a surprise, but to see it in such good fashion too. Like, this is a very practiced Jade we're seeing right now.
Looks like something he's been keeping as somewhat of a secret weapon. The fact that he went straight to this variation, and it's clearly well practiced, I think this is a really nice little secret that he's kept under his belt, perhaps. However, here we go. Nivek looking to push in and do the classic I leap, I do pressure. But at this point, what a wonderful change this is too, is that this variation, which is so used to, Nivek, he's constantly looking for these kind of cheeky counter pokes and they're just not working. Now, how often Nivek, when he has this anything that's like distance, he'll put damage on the floor and stand in it. But against this version of Jade, you can't do it because she is the one that forces you to come to her. The damage over time has been completely just non-existent this whole set.
Oh, I like that short leap into instant cancel from Nivek to bait. Oh!
Oh, the Jade! God, the Jade special! Yes! 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 The rawest of down twos. No hesitation, no fear, no respect.
And it KB'd as well. Just the cherry on top, the icing on the cake. The fact that it crushing blowed and it didn't even need to kill. That was a glorious end. And Omi, my goodness, this Jade pick.
It wouldn't be a Jade match without it, would it? It wouldn't be. It just wouldn't be.
But what a pick though. I love that choice. Because here's the thing. We've seen this Jackie variation in every tournament a tremendous amount of times since Ultimate came out. And, you know, we do see the comments, you know, we see Twitter, we see chat, where every now and then it's, you know, broken, unbeatable Jackie variation, best variation in the game, it's going to beat and stomp everything. Now, today, I mean, I don't want to see just one set and say bad matchup, but, like, Omi made that look like a good time for Jade. Like that matchup was already, like, arguably, you know, a bit either way before the patch, but seeing how Omi played that, Law Corridor versus Omi to come up next, I am definitely impressed by what I saw from Omi there. That was a really well thought out variation, really customs making their mark the way that I was hoping to see it. And yeah, that's it. Law Corridor versus Omi is going to be our second round game 1 match. But before we get there, we have the other 2 matches in this bracket to go. And it feels like these matches are taking quite a long time, but it's been 3-1, you know, multiple round 3s. This is what you want to see in the monthly final, right? We've got a lot more prize money up for grabs. A lot of these players are kind of making their customs debut, and they're definitely not wasting the opportunity. And our third match is going to be a good example of that, I think, as we see the return of Monstar, who is a Russian Fujin player that we've seen shortly before customs became a thing, and we have seen him this week as well. He got decently far in the bracket with that Fujin. It's very much the kind of Cloud Walker plus with the Arsenal as well. But K-Top, we have 3 Greek players in today's 8-man bracket, which is something we haven't talked about yet. Very used to seeing if it's Greek representation in NetherRealm, it's kind of historically kind of Nivek or bust. H-Dope has made a few good appearances as of late in the Open Series. As K-Top and H-Dope, 2 twin brothers from Greece, they have been competitive players in the NetherRealm scene for a number of years now. But they had to take a year out of competition. You know, we have talked to them about it on the final round. You know, they have been very upfront about it. They did have their mandatory military service come in. They are Greek, so that is a thing that has to be taken into account. And it basically took them away from being able to compete for basically a year. But we did talk to H-Dope, and he did say that, you know, when they got the opportunity, they were watching the game. They were watching tournaments. They were watching streams. They were learning.
Yeah, I found the most interesting is that, so during that year that H-Dope and K-Top both had away from competition, they were still able to watch competitive action, even though their access to play the game didn't exist. So this idea of spending an entire year learning the mechanics and the mind games and seeing everything, but then having to put your actual play into practice a whole year after everyone else is something that no doubt has been quite a challenge. But clearly, the two brothers have been up to the task, because in Open Series, this is the first time they've both been in the top 8 together. But H-Dope has been a pretty regular attendee of this. But K-Top playing multiple characters, I know he plays Jackie. I believe he actually plays Fujin himself. But I think that he might be going in for, looks like he's going in with potentially Jackie himself. Missed Me, the variation name. You can't see it
now,
here, but you
this
will later.
is the first time we've seen K-Top on a broadcast, but H-Dope has told us that K-Top does play those very fast-paced, flashy characters, right? Did play the upgraded, has been playing the Fujin.
I mean, some of you will probably remember him from MKX, right? If a character had a run cancel, he played them. Like, that was it.
Oh, but no, this is something that I was curious as to whether we would see. So, we have Cybernetic Override. I haven't seen it in a while. That's the feint, right? That is the first round feint off the pressure. So you've got standing pressure and air dash pressure, or air jump pressure. That sounds very annoying.
So K-Top has essentially given himself upgraded, but without a ground pound, he's got cancels.
I mean, there is a chance that it is the throw reversal, but I'm pretty sure it's the feint. Knowing K-Top, it's got to be cancelled. There is cancelled.
There it is.
It's K-Top. The K in K-Top stands for cancelled.
This is Mortal Kombat, so don't say it's spelled wrong. It's spelled right. It's spelled correctly. However, Monstar, he has absolutely come alive with the release of Ultimate. Being able to take a less meter-intensive version of basically Cloud Walker allows him to be much more devastating. He can spend more meter. Oh, there's the immediate jump. K-Top not quite getting the combo, which actually could have been the round win, but cancels layered upon cancels. Looking for the stagger, expecting you to finish it, and he doesn't. Now, Monstar still has the opportunity to take this. Here comes this crazy Fujin pressure, and the leap. No answering back. Even more, the jump back. No air to air, though. Uh-oh, short hop.
Oh, and then immediately a throw to kill. Yeah, there it is. No, not quite enough.
Right.
But the poke. I feel like K-Top got frozen up there, Monstar. We talk about K-Top, but Monstar, it's like you said, really coming alive with this Fujin now. I feel like he really has built his game plan around Skywalker more than I've seen any other Fujin. It really looks like super fast-paced.
It's because he doesn't have to spend as much meter on things, so he can be more creative with how he sets up, and this has just been all over the place. But K-Top, honestly, I would expect nothing.
Oh, there it is!
Oh, wow. Fujin, if he gets crushing blows, you know it's going to hurt. Oh, cheeky. Spent both meters on that, though.
Yeah, I guess you are against upgraded, so there's only so many chances you're going to have to break to begin with. Oh, but that's one thing. Monstar, his anti-airs are normally very crisp, and he's not afraid to go for them. There's the bar, no breakaway.
He might be dead. Fatal blow!
I think that will kill. I mean, she is 950. That might kill.
Fujin's fatal blow just feels like it doesn't scale ever. That's it. Dead.
Oh, she's dead.
Bam! That is awesome. That is fantastic stuff. Monstar, this is an absolute example of a player that, he was good. He was good anyway. We only got to see, I think, one appearance from Monstar before this. He was against Sui Frazier. It was Devora versus Cloud Walker, and clearly that Devora pick was an answer to the air mobility and stuff, so he wasn't able to be as airborne as he wanted to, and clearly it was a rough matchup for him. But I think it was more, less he played bad and more that Sui Frazier back then just had a really good answer for it in the form of a character we'd never seen from him before. But now we get to look at Ultimate, where he's crafted a variation that gives him everything he wants, and now it doesn't even look like the same player. He can be so much more creative. And hang on a minute, K-Top,
it's the mirror. This is what we thought.
I did say he plays Fujin. He does like to play these really fast-paced characters. Now, what variation has he picked?
I think it's the same thing. This has become for anyone that played Cloud Walker before. Yeah, for anyone that played Cloud Walker before customs, this has kind of become the next logical go-to is you have the Skywalker, you have the Needle, but instead of the air parries you had before, you now take arsenal. So now Skywalker becomes a meter efficient version. Because right here, I actually feel like I can see K-Top playing in a very similar fashion right there. So the good thing about this is because you don't have to spend defensive bar on combos anymore, you can use defensive bar on Skywalker in the neutral a lot more carefree. If you want to play that super high octane, really fast neutral style of Skywalk and trying to catch people out and then cancel it for safety, you can. Because if you then get a hit, all you need is offensive bar to turn it into a combo. And that's where we see so much more of it.
Oh, and there's that side switch though. Lovely ender. And one thing you're noticing from K-Top, he's definitely not having the most hit confirms here. He's got the movement and he's got the speed, but I just think that Monstar is playing a little bit more methodical. There's a lot more chaos to how K-Top is approaching this matchup, but he's not seemingly getting every single confirm now. That's that jump kick OS into Needle, so we do know that he's got those.
Oh, poke Needle. Another good out in the air, Monstar.
Oh!
Oh, a good trade for K-Top because he didn't spend the bar on that.
Doesn't do anything off the Needle. Instant jump in. I feel like this could be quite an interesting matchup, you know. I'm starting to see a lot more Fujin as the time goes on. This character, especially in Ultimate, no joke. Now there's that side switch again. Uh-oh,
good confirm with 4-3.
That'll take the life lead down 2 just in case you try and break it, but this is looking real bad now for K-Top. He's taking so much damage in such a short space of time. Ready for the cancel. I mean, he's like, I would skywalk there. Yeah. Clean.
Monstar, these down ones, he never misses a trick on them. So ready all the time. It's the anti-cross-ups as well, because anti-cross-ups are normally the more kind of unconventional place to anti-air because it's a lot more awkward. Like, cross-ups in this game are so good because 9 times out of 10, they're really deep jump kicks and they are kind of infamously hard to anti-air a lot of the time, but Monstar's timing on those like down ones really have been incredible. And we're seeing that. I would say that's the biggest defining thing in this match against the Jackie, against the Fujin. Like, K-Top is jumping a lot. You know, he is a very airborne, he's a very mobility-focused player. And if you, as a player, feel confident in your anti-airs and your ability to kind of really keep them stuck where you want them to be, or if they do try and move around, stop them in their tracks and get damage for it, then you're going to be much better off. And Monstar really showcasing some of that good Fujin right now. And K-Top going for the mirror again.
It's another one of those cases where I look at Monstar and I look at how he plays, and I'm surprised we didn't see him earlier. Because I mean, I don't know why, some players don't start to kind of make top 8s earlier. Maybe they were finding their feet. Maybe they just weren't entering. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of different potential reasons, but I'm so glad to see a player like Monstar really rock up here, and a player that I admit, before I had seen him playing his kind of debut before Ultimate, I didn't know who he was.
The way he's using Skywalk didn't really work before because it was 2 meter intensive. Every time you would do Skywalk to go up, you would have to spend defensive bar to come down. So you would get one go on the way up, and on block, you have to go down. And on hit, you have to go down again.
He's having a hard time with it.
Yeah.
Tell you what. Oh, dearie me. Yeah,
the cancel, I like that. Didn't have the bar to get a combo, so tried to go for some pressure instead.
But maybe more. K-Top definitely getting overwhelmed by this. Very much so. There's a lot more chaos in his play, but I think he's kind of struggling to deal with it on the defense. As the second Monstar is point blank, that's where he's having a bit of a hard time here now. Restand situation, back up into back 1, tries to get button press, but always ready for that down 1. Monstar says, you will get no cancels on me, sir, so and I will be on match point.
The big difference, though, is whenever Monstar is using Skywalk in pressure, sometimes he amps it on the way up, and sometimes he doesn't. If you think your opponent is going to press, you amp it on the way up, so if they do press, you hit them for it. And if you think they're respecting it, you then get away with not spending the bar. The problem is K-Top is never amping it, so Monstar is able to interrupt every time. And that's where Monstar is just looking a lot more comfortable with the Skywalk general gameplay.
Oh, definitely expects a stagger right there. Trying to press. He is getting consistently caught. Now that's a counter hit. Let's just take the free damage while we can. An easy 28%. And this time, escape failed. He keeps the meter. He keeps the throw. I do like that, because now he's going into this next round. It's still match point for Monstar, but at least the escape failed throw exists for K-Top. There it is again. Oh, but he's getting baited every time. Constantly getting caught trying to down 1 here, and I really think that Monstar is starting to really run away with this whiff punish. Okay.
Oh, but full on jumping.
Now The jump in was the counter hit, not the standing one. That's why there's no crushing blow there. Flawless block! Oh dear. That's insane. I've seen that one before, friend.
Oh. Wake up Skywalk. Catch, fatal blow. There it is.
I mean, this is going to set up. Alive. He's got the crushing blow throw still, too. There's no throw tech here, so after this fatal blow, actually, the crushing blow throw will kill. And doesn't he get one off both directions?
He does.
Uh-oh. I mean, that's a scary mind game. And he's going for it. And he knows the threat that exists, and he gets the button press. K-Top. That was the threat of the grab crushing blow allowed those buttons to connect. You know, Monstar, he did not want to get grabbed right there. No way.
But then at the same time, you could see how hungry K-Top was for it as well, because he did down one throw on hit. Like, he wasn't looking to confirm. He was just, I'm going to do a poke, and then I'm going to do a throw, and the poke is probably going to get blocked, but it didn't. But I think Monstar was so shook to be hit by that poke that he wasn't ready to whip punish the throw either. Because that's just the nature of the Fujin match, man. It is fast. Like, Fujin is a fast character. And in those kind of like last minute moments, any hit can turn into Skywalk or on block. There's so many options. Like, it almost looks like he's not even playing MK11 anymore. Like, Fujin, he's a god. He does his own thing. He doesn't play by the rules of us mere mortals. He does what he wants.
But this is something that I think has always been quite reminiscent of K-Top. It is the speed of which he plays the game. He's always been known as one of the faster players in Europe. If it was, a lot of you will probably remember him from the those ESL Community Cup days of MKX. We used to do those broadcasts many years ago at this point, honestly. Crazy how fast time flies. But
more years than I would be happy to admit.
He was a regular attendee. It was Mirko, K-Top, and H-Type kind of taking it in turns to win those tournaments. And when it comes to K-Top, he was a run, cancel machine. Execution was his name. But in this game, he's kind of having that pace. But remember, coming back a year after everyone else and then trying to kind of match that same intensity, I imagine it's not been an easy task, especially with a character like Fujin, who is quite execution heavy for this game. Now, Monstar, definitely a bit more fundamental here, I can tell. The specialist. But hang on, K-Top. I feel like he's kind of kicking up a gear here, Mustard.
Oh, the confirm.
Oh, lovely.
Both players really getting clipped. Oh, no, he didn't turn into the KB. Oh, whip punish. Oh. He actually might be just alive by like 1%.
I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to scale much. It was only 2 hits.
Is that enough?
Oh, look, you're wrong again.
Okay, but I said by 1%. There's only going to be 1% in it. I don't feel bad about that one.
Still counts.
Oh my goodness.
That was anime. Oh, this is anime!
What is happening?
It's so anime!
No punish!
Oh, but the air to air doesn't commit.
That's actually a big difference. K-Top is getting a lot of jumping normals, but we're not seeing them converted.
Wake up jump.
Another opportunity there, and there's whip punish. K-Top, what are you doing?
What are both of them doing?
Chaos.
This is
pure chaos.
Spaghetti all over the floor. Oh, he's trying to at the end. This is a mess. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to sound disrespectful.
This is the weirdest.
He's chasing him down. Oh my.
Okay.
Wake up jump. No, the miss. He missed it. This is, I think, the worst match I've seen.
Right, I don't know what's happening. Oh no!
What?
I mean, how do you commentate? That was the scramble to end all scrambles, and there was no end. But the important thing is, if you have that kind of round where, to be completely honest, no one knows what's going on, right? Like, at least of all, if you're playing in that scenario, there is nothing that just happened there that you can be prepared for. There are so many just situations where something will hit, didn't think it was going to hit, disconnected, didn't think it was going to connect. And when both players are constantly doing that, this is the most important time of the scramble, because it's over, it's finished, the match is done, and K-Top won and has taken it to a game 5. That is really important, because if you're Monstar and you're up a very convincing, no less, 2 games, Monstar destroyed in those first 2 games. For K-Top to really just drag this game back in that kind of style, if you're K-Top, you are all the way on that maximum. You are buzzing right now. You know, you are feeling yourself because that scramble went to you, and now
that game's a wake-up call for Monstar too. Say, all right,
I need
Monstar,
to wake up. Like, right, okay, let's pay attention. What's happening? Let's stabilize this.
I've never been so offended by it. I just saw a comment in one of the streams that said, "This is ketchup versus mustard." I've never been so hurt. I know, right? Excuse me. Now, anyway, as we actually start this next match,
I dished it out. You expect me to take it?
Now, actually, this has been quite a turnaround from K-Top. Now, Monstar, I don't think he quite had the meter to get the up 2 from that. I think he was just shy of it. Now, he's able to go in with the intensity. Now, lots of jump-ins trying to anti-air. K-Top really using that desire to anti-air against Monstar, I think. He's jumping at such awkward angles, crushing blow, and that's actually going to be the round. Absolutely. Match point for K-Top. On the verge of a reverse sweep here with this Fujin. I don't know what's happened here, but he has kicked it up a notch on Monstar. It's his turn to repay him in kind.
He still wants to anti-air, he's just doing different options now. The down 2 anti-air is very much a bit of a no messing. And Monstar, let go of block, was not expecting that.
K-Top is just playing, if I describe K-Top, it always has been chaotic. And this is why. However, Monstar looks like he's starting to somewhat stabilize, but again, he's trying to anti-air these really awkward cross-ups, and it's being used against him, Mustard. K-Top wants you to anti-air at this angle.
Oh, tries to trip guard a little bit late.
They trade.
Not a bad trade for K-Top. Oh, they're doing the same thing again.
But one of the meat lands it. Amplify, no anti-air attempt this time. Tries to show respect for the fatal blow. If K-Top lands a single hit now, don't get hit. Monstar holding this block. Oh, he got it! No! Gets opened up eventually. K-Top with, I think, the most chaotic reverse sweep we've ever seen in the Open Series. Surely.
No, I did not see that coming. I thought after how those first 2 games went, the last thing I thought would happen was K-Top bringing it back to game 5.
He gets that out as well. He gets that out as well.
I feel like the most important thing about this set, though, was Monstar went from having absolute control to seemingly no control, where when you win those 2 games in the fashion that he did, there was no question in my mind he is winning this set. Like, that was looking like, K-Top, you know, you're a good player, you know, but you've still got some catching up to do. But it looks like the longer that set went on, the more K-Top was like, all right, sod it. I am going to do what I want, right? And then we started seeing K-Top being absolutely uncontrollable, all over the place, maximum speed, maximum unpredictability. And the second K-Top switched gears in that style, it just seemed to be too much. Like, Monstar just could not keep up with what K-Top was doing. And to the point that K-Top was just able to just run away with it. And in a surprise upset, K-Top,
I mean, there's
really
definitely...
what a debut. At the very least, what a debut in the Open Series. Good Lord.
Definitely a big thing there in that matchup, though, was that K-Top was absolutely using Monstar's desire to anti-air every single jump-in against him, because we reached a point where there was a lot of those kind of cross-up jump-ins that were incredibly meaty. It is extremely difficult to anti-air those, and K-Top just started finding the right angle to get it where he kind of knows that the odds are in his favor to get that jump in to work. But Monstar never stopped. You know, there reaches a certain point where you either, I don't know, you try and flawless block it. I don't think Fujin can, though, because I know his up 2 is not very good. But some players, you know, they start to show show respect, maybe. But my whole point there, though, is there reaches a point where you have to try and stop pressing buttons there, and you have to do something else because you're just giving up free damage, and that is what happened, and K-Top knew it. Now, from one brother, Mustard, to another, it's going to be Acid and Matter going up against H2. So K-Top, we've seen the first half of the Greek... Oh my God, I can't get my sentences up today. Greek brothers, not Greek brothers. And he plays Spawn. I think Spawn right now is like the pick. So it might be very different to what we saw of Dangus earlier on. Acid and Matter, though, I mean, this is the Cetrion that we know at this point very much, and the custom Cetrion loadout that seems to be the most popular, right? Teleport, Earthquake, and the Winds. So let's see what happens.
I would expect nothing else from Acid and Matter. I did see Acid and Matter talking on Twitter about there still being some matchups, though, where he will still play Spring Cleaning, because he thinks the Geyser is still really needed in certain matchups. So I definitely saw that being the direction that Asa would go. So maybe we'll see that at some point. Who knows? I don't think Spawn on paper would be one of those characters. But on that topic of Spawn, H-Dope, mainly known for the Spawn, to be sure, but K-Top and H-Dope, they've never really been players to stick with one. They've always played like 2, maybe 3 characters that they will go to as and when it's needed. And this is a matchup where we've seen H-Dope before, and his Spawn looks very strong and very capable. But the one thing that has consistently given him problems is extreme keep away. And I don't think that's a Spawn issue. I think that's H-Dope. Because we actually talked to him on the final round quite soon after the matches where he was getting zoned out the hardest. And he even said himself, he as a player doesn't really like getting around fireballs. And we could see that in the play. He's now playing against Aso Damatsa, who is, I would say, the premier zoner of Europe/CIS. Like, Aso Damatsa will sit there for 100% of the game throwing specials if he thinks he can get away with it. It is on you to show him that won't work and force him to switch it up. And when he switches it up, he's still dangerous because he knows how to play that way as well. It's just he has his preferred way, and if he can play that way, he will. Now, my next question, though, is what is H-Dope going to be using? Spawn ain't trash. Is this glide and charge again? Are we seeing that twice today? It looks like that's glide. Now, is slide
Spawn ain't trash? I mean, I kind of think it's always been quite a big misconception that Spawn is not a good character. I think a lot of competitive players out there will definitely say they think Spawn was underrated before and definitely extremely viable now. I kind of think it was a very common misconception that the character wasn't good.
Just because a character's not top tier doesn't mean they're bad. And that is just the reality. A character does not need to be one of the best in the game to compete. We've seen it all the time. People will specialize in characters that are, maybe not so favorable on the tier list, but because they as a player are so good, they can really make up for those downsides. What you don't want is to play a character that has matchups so bad you lose at character select, which can happen if the matchup is bad enough. Those matchups are rare, but if you play a specific character, the biggest thing that's going to hold you back is just matchups. And if you have matchups that you think are just impossible, all you need is a secondary to cover those. That is the general gist. Now, will H-Dope be in the same situation? Because it's been about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe, since we saw H-Dope last, so a lot of improvement can be made in that time.
Oh, there's the immediate button press. This is that kind of awkward corner positioning now. The immediate knockdown does create this situation. Wow. We were so close to that charge being able to absorb right there. H-Dope. Unfortunately, this reverse situation is now going to allow Aso Damatsa. He's got the full screen. That's what he's looking for.
Again, this is the style. We've seen how much damage Spawn can dish out if he gets close enough. Push him back, yeah. This is all Aso Damatsa just playing for that range. Chip. Oh, flawless block. The knowledge. Opted not to spend the bar, though. Didn't want to spend the bar on the charging Hell Spawn.
Now, but this is the kind of matchup where I definitely think that H-Dope will have a bit of a struggle because he just doesn't like dealing with zoning. Going up against Aso, you kind of look at this matchup on paper and you know that H-Dope is going to have a pretty tricky journey here. But with this variation, the kind of basically the one, but again, which we've seen twice today, Danga's bringing it forward first. Here's the damage, dropping it. That drop is so common with Spawn players, it seems.
But here's the problem. That drop has lost the corner and given Aso Damatsa all of the screen to work with again. That is why those combo drops are so costly. You're going for the biggest damage possible, but at the bigger cost of dropping, meaning, look, he's lost complete control of the round.
Uh-oh. Fatal blow. Can he land it? Will he have an opportunity? I mean, Aso Damatsa knows that's the objective right here. He's not going to make it easy. And back to this full screen game once more. The flawless block. Good at keeping him alive for just a little bit longer, but it's not going to be enough. Game 1 for Aso. And with all due respect to H-Dope, I do kind of fear this might be how every game can go. It's just something to do with you have to have absolute legendary patience to kind of deal with Aso Damatsa consistently, or rushdown that is so insane you don't have to worry about it, or a character with like a teleport or something.
And there's another point to talk about here though, and that's optimal combos. When do you do them and when do you not? This variation of spawn is built for optimal damage, right? If you've gone for the glide as well as the charging hell spawn, you are clear as day picking it for as much damage per hit as you possibly can get. So if you're picking this variation and you're not going for those optimal glide combos, you may as well not pick the variation. But the problem with the optimal glide combos is that they're a damn sight harder than the normal ones. Normal ones being literally charging hell spawn into like what? Dash up 2-4 restand. That is never going to drop. You are never going to mess that up. It does a lot less than the gliding ones, but you're still doing above average damage in this game. But at the cost of this, right? You make a variation for optimals, you have that kind of scenario, you drop the optimal, and not only do you lose out on the damage, you lose out on the restand, you lose out on the positioning, and literally, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you lost the game on that drop. Because that drop got Asso out the corner, and the game was over. And that's the problem you're going to find yourself in. Where if you're picking these optimal variations, you absolutely need to make sure that your execution is 100%. Otherwise, there's not a lot of point picking it.
I mean, how many times have we've said the same thing constantly, where it's all about essentially dropping a combo. Losing the damage really is the least punishing part of it. Dropping a combo also, oh, there's no absorption there though, so we're not going to get a launch. That's a good catch though, good damage, importantly pushing him near the corner. Now there's that teleport. That's the matter. Wouldn't be caught without it. All about it. Lovely, flawless block though. And now here's that restand. Definitely going for some kind of neutral dark or some kind of challenge there. Down one, chewing it up. H-Dope has to be careful. The second you get within jump distance, it can be so tempting to go in. But that's what Asadamasa wants. Knockdown. Allows somewhere to go in. Ooh, lovely challenge. Okay. Can H-Dope make this work? He's so close, but no, confirmed.
Asso missed it. Rare footage of him not getting that. Fatal blow was waiting there to be used. Plus frames. Ooh.
6 seconds of the clock. Lovely tech. Oh. This should be it. Nothing Asadamasa can do. He knows. And I don't think he wants to move either because he didn't want to give up anything about the mid-screen. That's a patient first round, but a round that will be taken by H-Dope quite happily.
But I actually like the way H-Dope played that. Like, yes, he's trying to close the distance, but he's not doing so in a way that he's just walking into 1,000 projectiles. This is how you have to play it. You have to take your time. Even if you are an impatient player, if you refuse to change, well, you're just gonna die! Speaking of which... Oh, no breakaway. You know, I like the fact that he chose to take the damage, because without defensive bar, you ain't teleporting out the corner. So Asso decided to take the damage and keep the resources so he doesn't just get cornered.
Importantly, he was able to keep his defensive bar and fight his way out of the corner anyway. Now that's a clean punish. H-Dope happy to do that. And now he delays the knockdown, continuing pressure once again, but there's no counter hit. H-Dope didn't press a button there.
I like how Asso was fishing for that counter hit though. He saw a cancel that wasn't real and tried to challenge. It would have won too because he had the fatal blow behind. Spin the bar, yes he does. I think H-Dope, oh, I was gonna say, would likely be content to win on chip, but won't need to.
He's actually playing walks into the more patient. He's playing a lot more patiently than I think we're used to seeing too. This is not looking like the same kind of impatient H-Dope that is constantly just kind of jumping in or dashing in and losing entire life bars to what is very clearly like frustration in the match. We're not really seeing that here. I think he's being a lot more careful about where he positions himself, where he gets that kind of 3-4. It's all built around that standing 3-4, that real magic button for spawn. And he doesn't stick out the whole thing. You know, he knows when he's at a range, he's not going to get whiff punished for it. You know, it's going to hit all the way. But this could be still a uphill battle, you know what I mean? Because you've got to play like that every match to not get Cetrion just keeping you away the whole game.
H-Dope actually slowing down here.
Oh yeah.
In a few seconds. But no, I think that's been the most important thing of this match, though, is the fact that H-Dope has made that adjustment. You know, we've seen him in weeks prior. He's fine until he fights extreme keep away. Excuse me. And then he seemingly just has that massive lack of patience, which is a common trait amongst players, to be sure. You know, a lot of us definitely aren't the very patient players. But in tournament, you have to adjust, and that adjustment is what separates competitive players from players that play a lot of online. You know what I mean? Like it's important to be able to do that. And for a player like H-Dope that's kind of infamously had that problem in the past, to be playing better today, it's good progression. Now Asso, are we going to see that change? Because H-Tope's flawless blocks on the tornadoes have been very good, to the point that Asso is just not really using them much at all.
It does depend on what you use them for. That's a lovely catch. He knows that Asso's going to try and challenge with a button press. The small walk back into 3-4. That's very much a Spawn classic at this point. We are at standing 3 range. Asso the Massa knows it. It is that interesting game of natural barrier versus 3-4. Who's going to pull that trigger first? They have similar effective ranges. And that's a conversion. Using it to get out the corner, though. I actually like that choice from Asso the Massa. However, they trade, no crushing blow. This is an interesting position because, you know, it looks like H-Tope's quite far behind, but don't forget the character he's playing. But now the round will go down. But this is it. You know, you look at that kind of health that Asso the Massa's looking at. If he had no breaker there as well, it's like all Spawn has to do is hit you once. And then he can set you up for one kind of touch afterwards to finish the round. It is the damage of this. There's the flawless block again. Asso the Massa paying the price. Spending both bars, and you know what? Not too shabby, but he's caught.
No, honestly, 300 for an up 2 is really good damage by this game standards.
Considering he's pretty much built a bar back already.
Indeed.
Hang on. Asso the Massa. Will he? I mean, he's going to try and teleport here. He needs to look for an opportunity to teleport. This might be it. That's it. That's what he's looking for. The objective is to just escape the corner. Because, here we go. He can go straight back to what works for him. Looking for the 3-4, no punish. He's starting to use the ground. Yeah, he's starting to use the earthquake now. Getting too comfortable expecting the wins, perhaps.
Asso really saves that for a rainy day. Like that's not the go-to start for him at all. However, keep away. Oh, there it is again. Oh, that mustn't have been intentional, that uppercut. Oh, and there it is. Tornado into ground pound. I wonder, because like, the tornado is a moving projectile, but it moves slower than usual. So I actually wonder if it jails into ground pound. Because you don't see much ground pound, but like that looked like it jailed. I wonder if that is like a guaranteed thing. Regardless, that's something we may see more into the set, as Asso the Massa definitely one of those players that doesn't show his entire hand right away. There's a reason we're seeing the ground pound cancels coming through now, because now the set is getting on a bit, and we're definitely going down to you know, the later stages, as we could potentially see a 3-1 Asso the Massa here, or maybe a game 5. This is where you start really opening the next layers if they're necessary. So for example, up until now, Asso, game 1, extreme keep away, H-Tope got wrecked by it, basically. Game 2, H-Tope completely adjusted, a lot more patient, wasn't walking into as much keep away, H-Tope did alright. This game, now we're seeing Asso use way more of the tornado at range as well as the ground pound, and now we're seeing the ground pound cancels. Like, this is that progression. This is that adaptation that you need to slowly do over time. Because we've seen players do that before, where they'll show everything they've got in the first game, and then their opponent gets the download much quicker. You know, and that's a common mistake players can make. So Massa definitely been playing once or twice. Oh, no confirm.
It is an interesting matchup for H-Tope, you know, because a lot of people, if they do fire Cetrion like this, they normally have other characters and stuff like that. But H-Tope, truly a Spawn specialist. Yeah, this is the character he plays. So this is more about him just trying to conquer a matchup the best he can with the tools that he's familiar with. Especially for this matchup, you know, we'll just see if it works. Flawless blocking the boulder at the very least. Very important, underrated element of this matchup. And shutting down those plus frames, or at least the ability for Cetrion to move freely afterwards. Depending on what range he gets it, I guess, but it looks like now Asso the Massa, I mean, he's starting to brawl a lot more. He's starting to fight a lot more.
But even then, that was a nice sequence of conditioning there from Asso, though. You got the barrier, jailed it into a tornado, hit confirm, and then tornado plus frames into a throw. Oh, confirm, there's a breakaway, though.
Asso the Massa, he doesn't manage his defensive meter so well that when he finally gets opened up by H-Tope, he actually doesn't take a lot of damage because he has that breakaway. The whole damage sequence comes from that immediate charging Hellspawn, and if he has the meter to break, who cares? You take like, what, 20-odd%? And then you have to do the whole thing again. However, not having the option to do it now. Bang, restand. And what's it going to be? Oh, he looks for the whiff punish. Asso the Massa going for a giant reward. Can't really get much else as a punish. Oh, challenges it. Tries to whiff punish.
I've never seen that interaction before, where the first hit of the forward 4 whiffs, the second hit does, and the third misses completely. That was odd.
This is going to be challenging, I think. he kind of has no choice but to go all in. And H-Dope, every single grab, that's put him into fatal blow territory where he's actually in big trouble. He cannot afford to get hit. There's the pushback. After the master.
Oh, found the moment.
Thread the needle.
He actually had 255 health, so if he got hit by the KB, that does 250 flat, so he would have been alive by 0.5%. Oh, good patience. Masso, but the hit no confirm, however.
I mean, that was a single hit. I don't know if he was truly confident. Because if he gets caught, he's in bad shape. Oh! That's that natural barrier once again. H-Dope, he's in kind of big trouble here. Cannot afford to take any of these trades. Oh dear, that's a knockdown. Really not about the fact that it does a measly 7%, more the fact that he gets sent full screen all over again, and now half of the work is done for Asadamata. He simply needs to finish the job. That barrier, such an amazing tool at just challenging that 3-4. They have such similar ranges. Oh,
yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's the game.
I think he's dead. Vines. Drops the
drop.
combo.
Hang on.
Here comes H-Dope. Doesn't want to overcommit just in case he breaks. Oh, that's a punish on the cancel. And that was, to be honest, kind of the matchup I was expecting to see. You know, it's the absolute best zoner of this part of the world going up against, you know, a player that has historically kind of struggled with aggressive keep away. This was the respected, you know, I expected to see it like this, but also at the same time, he did manage to get a game. He managed to make a lot of those games close as well. It went closer than expected, if I'm brutally honest. And, you know, we'll see if he's able to... You know, I think
that was categorically, I think, our longest ever first round of matches. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes since we began, and we've only just finished the first 4. So we are definitely going the distance today, I think. But you'd expect nothing less in the monthly finals. You know, we are playing for a lot more money than usual. You're playing for the title of monthly champion. And the monthly tournament is made up only of players that have done well in previous weeks. So this is the most impressive one to win, if at all, as Nivek takes it 3-2 over Dangus. So unfortunately, Dangus is going to be eliminated here as well, but GG's for getting to this point in the first place. But that does mean that our winner's side round 2 matches are locked and ready to go. Lord Corridor versus Omi, and K-Top versus Asadamata. So will K-Top be able to avenge his brother, or will Asadamata be able to take them both down in quick succession? We'll find out very soon, but before we do that, we're going to go to a break and get our next round of games ready to go. You do not want to miss them, trust me. It should be very exciting. We certainly can't wait to see them. We'll see in a few minutes' time when they will begin. The Open Series entered its 6th month with an incredible day of matches. Grand Finals would guarantee a brand new champion to the Open Series, either Nivek or Flet. Not even Flet's lower bracket run momentum would be enough, as a clean sweep from Nivek had him walk away as the 14th person to become an EU Open Series champion.
That's the ground pound.
Week 2 of November for the European Open Series Grand Finals was a rematch between Desarted and Orp. Orp's lower bracket run momentum fizzled out, as Desarted double eliminated him to become the November Week 2 Open Series champion.
He's done! That should be the tournament, surely!
950 health, I think so.
That's going to be it.
North America Grand Finals was the classic Open Series match of Mighty Unjust versus Biohazard. The multi-time champions settled on Noob Saibot and Kano, their most well-known picks, where in Game 5, Bio pulled out the win to become this week's North American Open Series champion.
He said it's over. It's over.
GG's, folks. Biohazard.
Week 3 of the November PlayStation Open Series was the very first week of Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, giving the competitors access to custom variations for the very first time. Europe Grand Finals were a run-back of the very first round of the tournament between Mercer and Ed Napier. Mercer went with a surprise Cetrion pick, quite literally, and won the first 2. However, in true Ed Napier style, the tournament ended in a reverse 3-0 for the Liu Kang player, as he became the very first MK11 Ultimate PlayStation Open Series European champion.
Oh no, that might be it! No!
He didn't have the KB. He didn't have the KB, but it doesn't. To Ed Napier.
The first week for MK11 Ultimate in the North American Open Series came down to the classic grand finals between Ice Scorpion and the Mighty Unjust. The Mighty Unjust had already defeated Ice Scorpion in a clean 3-0 in the upper bracket finals, leaving him in a tough position to have to win 2 sets to take the tournament. The Mighty Unjust started with Liu Kang, a relatively safe pick of his. However, Ice Scorpion knew that he had to take a risk, bringing out Cetrion for one of the first times. The set went back and forth, with the Elder Goddess looking considerably more practiced than the last time Ice Scorpion brought her out, committing to her even in a Game 5 where he managed to overcome Unjust's noob Cybot to reset the bracket. Now that both players were on the even footing, the Mighty Unjust switched to another one of his signature characters, which was Sub-Zero. The mix-ups looked absolutely unstoppable, as Unjust took the first 2 games with ease, but Ice Scorpion remained confident with the Cetrion pick, bringing it to a Game 5. With Unjust swapping to Shang Tsung in the final game, it went down to the very final round, where Ice Scorpion managed to barely close it out, completing the reverse sweep and winning the entire tournament from the lower bracket.
The jump punch from Ice Scorpion is enough to secure it and the tournament.
By the time week 4 of November rolled around, players had an entire week to practice new MK Ultimate variations and characters. In Europe, new variations would be the name of the game, as players like Asadamata, Fabs, and Nivek used variations of their signature characters to great success. The only new character we saw, also from a player new to the Open Series, Hawaiian Shirt Guy, who brought an extremely impressive early reign. In the end, Asadamata and Fabs would battle it out for Cetrion supremacy, with the first ever Open Series champion Asadamata reclaiming his throne.
From advantage. No, no! Wait, no, that's not surely that doesn't kill. That's got to be low but not kill. Surely. Surely he's not alive. Oh, I don't know. It might be close.
I think barely. 1%. Does he find it? Oh!
In North America, a bracket of familiar names would have brand new results with the addition of Ultimate. King Teaser became the player to spill first blood with Rambo in the Open Series, showing off the new character's strengths. Mighty Unjust gave us another taste of his new and improved reign, with some of the strongest and most unique reign play to date. Returning to the Open Series after some time, Illuminati made it to top 3 with Kung Lao's Buzzsaw custom move, using it in ways that we honestly had never seen before. It all came down to a rematch from the previous week's Grand Finals between the Mighty Unjust and Ice Scorpion. Going through his deep roster, Mighty Unjust finally settled on Jackie Briggs, allowing him to reset the bracket. Quick adaptation from the previous Jackie main, however, allowed Ice Scorpion to sweep the next set to become the repeat champion once again.
Just what a jump back punch!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to, as always, the PS4 Tournament's MK11 Open Series. This is the monthly finals of November, where we have just got through our first round of matches. So now we're going on to winners round 2, basically, which is now going to be between Omi and Law Corridor. I think Omi's probably going to go back to Sub-Zero, and Law Corridor was able to demonstrate a thoroughly effective Joker, which has the super jump, which we've never seen in competitive before. Sorry, hiccup at the worst time. And we've seen Omi kind of bring forward more of a kind of Dead of Winter inspired Sub-Zero that a lot of Dead of Winter players use, which is that deep freeze, the creeping ice, safety if you want it, but you can take big risks and conversions. We didn't really get a chance to talk
interesting about that before, because we only saw Omi play Sub-Zero for one game, and then he swapped to a custom Jade, which he used to take out Nivek, who is playing that kind of upgraded with grenade launcher style Jackie that a lot of people are running right now. I don't know whether we'll see the same thing here, as Law Corridor is most likely going to be playing that same Joker, super jump, crouching gunshot and the jumping. I don't remember the exact name of it. I'm actually going to look at the name of the move because there are so many moves that sound the same, but I want to make sure I've got the right name. It is the jumping jester that you use as an anti-air, which also doubles up as a setup or anti-breakaway tool. If you expect the breakaway and you can't armor break, you can use that to catch him on the way up. But this is much more of a Sub-Zero matchup, I think. I think that's definitely what you'll be looking for. Jumping Jester, that's the name of it. But we know that this Deep Freeze plus Creeping Ice is becoming very common for Dead of Winter players, because it's basically Dead of Winter with safety if you want it, and the slide Crushing Blow that is normally lost by the Cold Shoulder. But it isn't the one and only Sub-Zero, right? There's a lot of Rising Ice we're seeing. Air Axe is still good. But if you just want straight up mix above all else, this is a variation you see.
Let it rock. That is always going to be that kind of threat. There was that low into overhead. I kind of feel like it is definitely one of those reactable things that players can get, but it just catches you out the start. Now down four, both the down four and the slide hit. Now there's that low shot. Such an important tool. Damage, unbreakable damage, good zoning. Forces you to flawless block it to shut down the chip. And Sub-Zero, this variation is not really known for its air tools, is it? So I think this low shot's going to be quite good for Lore Corridor here. However, there's the catch. Side switch. No, there's the break. Prevents the side switch, but there's the jump immediately into overhead low. Now, this is why Creeping Ice sometimes is taken, but there's the confirm. That'll do it.
Now, actually, this might kill, because Joker's Fatal Blow does more damage than usual anyway. It doesn't scale, and 4-2-1 does a lot of damage. Oh my god.
It's such a good confirm. It's such a good
4-2-1 Fatal Blow, 428 damage. Ouch.
That's the Joker, baby. Now here comes the jump in into a little bit more slide just for the good damage in this corner position, which is instantly shut down by Lore Corridor saying, you know what, I'd like to uppercut this, please. Lovely whiff punish, though. There should be some decent corner damage. Go for the slide. Nice confirm, actually, for me. Nice, I like it. But there's the immediate turnaround. Joker, this variation that Lore Corridor's built for himself, so many layers to it. And he knocks down and builds towards that crushing blow even more. I think that's two of them now, at least.
Oh, getting clipped. Set up. Same thing. Oh,
he's out.
Safety.
Whiff punish.
Oh my goodness. Give Lore Corridor a super jump on Joker. That is what we've had. No disrespect for the... Wait, for the first time?
Hang on a minute.
Is Lore Corridor a changed man?
Is this character development 2.0? That's what we're talking about. It's unlike Lore Corridor, especially after a win like that where he plays thoroughly impressive. Because the thing about Lore Corridor is, and this has always been his thing, I've seen him say in the past that he does all of it to like get you to want to win more. He does it to either hype himself up. There are so many different reasons I think he kind of does the disrespect after like finish him the way he does. And it's like none of that changes the fact that he's actually a really good player. Like when you watch Lore Corridor play with either Joker or when he played Jackie, there was a lot of talent there. You know, there's a lot of footsies, good reactions, impeccable reactions, I gotta say. Like he plays it at a crazy good pace. And I think that sometimes the way he carries himself mid-match almost takes away from the fact that he's genuinely really good at the game. You know what I mean?
I definitely agree. We see that more and more as we see him playing. But this is the first time I've seen him play since Custom, so I'm just overall really impressed with the kind of creativity.
Will he ever play Jackie again? Now he's got a super jump with Joker. That's what I wonder.
Might not need to. The big thing here, though, is Omi. Oh, the raw overhead. Omi's gone back to this Shall We Dance variation of Jade. The Delia's Dance, extended strings, air glaive. This is what he used to take out Nivek when the Sub-Zero wasn't working out. It'll work against the Joker as well. Already looking to punish with the standing 2, by the way, so I do think Lore Corridor probably has a little bit of experience fighting Jades that do use these moves. You know, I know that Nivek was looking a little bit overwhelmed with it, a little bit unsure. But I think that this matchup, you know, already looking for the Delia's Dance and looking for the standing 2. We are looking at this. Now, there's look at the chip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hang on. Spent both meters on it, but he's got corner positioning. Lovely tech. But the range, the long range, the deceivingly good damage for what it is. Oh, but the interruption. There's a gap.
big old gap in between the wiggle stick and the follow-up. So we just have to really start seeing wiggle stick into Delia's dance or something just to establish the timing. Otherwise, that'll be a free punish every time for Lord Corridor. It's Joker. One of the best things about him is the range of these buttons. Long limbs. Oh, hang on a minute. Got the KB. Keep the fatal blow for the rest of the round.
Oh, the trade. Not a bad trade for Omi in this situation. Trying to shut down the glow. Oh, dear. Rushing glow. Bang, bang. Boom. And that's going to be 30% just like that. Into a range where he's exactly where he wants to be, and Lord Corridor gets another match. No disrespect, 2 games in a row. Who are you, and what have you done with Lord Corridor?
I am actually really impressed. Like the sheer plus frames of that jumping jester. I feel like that's got to be like high double-digit plus. Like surely, because Lord Corridor had time to like walk up and then do his 11-frame forward one, which is a mid. And it straight up jailed. I don't even know if it was counter hit, but Omi just getting caught out. But I love this custom Joker from Lord Corridor. This is exactly what I would imagine he would play. Super jump and the applications that come with it. You have the jumping jester for setup and kind of mind games. If you think they're gonna break away at a certain time and you can't quite armor break, or maybe you just want a little bit of pressure. Maybe you have them conditioned to sit there waiting for like the safe back forward 4, so then you go for that instead. Like. By design, Joker having that built-in safety makes setup options really dangerous. And when your setup options can be super jump, it can be jumping jester. And if your opponent wants to keep you at full screen, you got Batsy Pew Pew for like one of the highest single damage projectile attacks in the game. Like this is a very versatile Joker, and Lord Corridor is making it look incredible right now.
We all kind of looked at the idea of picking and choosing the variation moves that you want. Joker was always going to be quite a winner in this exchange because his base kit is so good, but then his moves give him so much extra to work with for whatever kind of player you are. Lord Corridor, I'd be surprised to ever see him play without the super jump because it's how he played. He was upgraded in Joker, and he's pretty much put the two of them together to see what we have now. Kombat League Boss. Now that's the variation name, and I'm pretty sure he terrorizes Kombat League with it. The trick about the Boing, actually, the one little detail is that you can't really empty jump. Yeah, you looked for it. The thing about Boing is that you actually can't empty jump with it. When the Joker lands, he throws the gloves on the floor, which actually has recovery. You have to do a jump in from it. And that is the one difference between the super jump compared to Jackie.
No reason to not do a jump in normal, right?
Yeah, definitely.
There's no empty jumping. Like if you've done it, you have to make yourself trip guardable. If your spacing's right, I mean, it's Joker's jump in normals go a lot. Well, I suppose just kind of weirder angles than most. Oh, the overhead, Omi tries. Yeah,
interrupt. Cancel.
Interrupt. There we go. Omi finds the answer this time. No cancelling on block here, sir. Down 1 says no thank you. That's Sub-Zero, 6 frame.
I've always liked this kind of clean custom Sub-Zero that Omi's had. Like the MK2 costume, the kind of classic looking mask. Oh, so good. Spending out the crushing blow already.
Oh,
wow. Okay. You know what? If it works, it works. But now, committing to the overhead. Actually, brave with no defensive bar to work with. That would have been another minimum 30% damage. Here comes the pressure. Lovely tech. Omi looking for the anti-air, but no one home. And he's just out. I would like to leave. No, he's back. There are weird gloves all over the floor. And that's just free damage.
Way, but nothing yet.
Oh, he picked it up!
No way! Oh my god. Crushing blow. Probably didn't even have it built, to be fair. I don't think he's hit that many. He might be one away.
Super jump is so good. Match point for Lord Corridor. Off the back of that, he's got to be happy about that one. Oh, delayed mid. He knows he's got you on the ropes. That's a great interrupt.
That was a straight up punish too, yeah. Always a jump kick too for maximum plus frames.
And it even hits behind. That's the thing. It hits behind.
That's why super jump is such a pain, because Joker's jump normals are some of the best in the game. A jump kick especially. Oh, you want to anti-air it? At your own peril, my friend. Oh, he blocked! He read it! He knew!
Crushing blow!
No, he didn't have it
again. He hasn't got it. He hasn't got it. Oh! This is an airborne match. He's relentless. He won't stop. Oh!
No, he stops it! Oh.
Does he do it now?
Oh,
yes,
no! He's descended back.
He's yet to mercy, and this time he won't. He wants to win. Lord Corridor, he's hungry today. It's not about mercy today. It is about getting that fat W, and he's well on the way to do it. He's not finished, though. He's got our last little treat for us. And that's it. But we've got to...
It bothers me how you say W and not just dub.
What's wrong? Wait, that's not the term. You can say W. You can say it.
You prove that it can be said. You certainly prove that it can be said. But regardless, Law Corridor. I think, like, the longer that last match went on, the more we saw Law Corridor figure out that, hang on, super jump into deep jump kick is definitely causing some problems. I think I should do more of it. But not just that, though. The conversions, the pickups, right? That was just really clean Joker gameplay. And even there at the end, Omi trying to punish with a slide, but making the decision too late. Law Corridor already low blocking in prediction of it. And it just goes to show, right, that adaptation again. Last time we did the jumping jester, got slid for it. This time, nope. Not happening. Instant adaptation. And now that does mean that Law Corridor is guaranteed top 3 today, as winners finals is secured. And yeah, I think this has been a really impressive tournament run so far for Law Corridor. This custom Joker looking like quite the menace. But that is merely one of 2 games.
It is it's not a debut, I recall. I recall we saw the Joker in Ultimate from Mighty Unjust.
We've seen him play Joker at least 2 times.
No, we have, but I mean with the Ultimate, you know, where Joker players now starting to mix and match. It's definitely, I think, the debut of seeing the super jump. It's the first time I've seen that.
No, for sure.
And it's kind of, I'm going to be honest, it's kind of as good as I expected it to be, because the way he uses it, he already has that in his mind, because he was already such a sick Jackie player. You've pretty much taken those elements and put them all into the same variation that allows Law Corridor to also put his own game plan and personality into one character. I know that Joker has been his favorite character anyway, so Ultimate has just been a good opportunity for him to really let loose with what he likes the most, which is clearly this. Now, let's talk about our next matchup. It's going to be Astamata and K-Top. So K-Top plays Jackie himself, but he actually likes to play Leap, Air Shrapnel Blast, and the Cancels. So we saw that for one game, although not much of it, because it was his Fujin that got the reverse sweep on Monstar in the mirror match. Complete mirror. They had the same variation as well as character, which in this era of customs can be a little bit more rare, I think, because everyone's picking and choosing what they want. But it is going to be... I mean, I don't really know what to expect from this, Mustard, because K-Top is so aggressive, but Astamata kind of wants you to be that aggressive because he'll keep you away all game. Like, this is an absolute clash of opposite playstyles. If I've ever seen one, this is it.
I mean, K-Top and H-Top are both very aggressive players, just in different ways. I feel like K-Top's more about, especially in MK11, K-Top plays characters that let you be high mobility in the air, and H-Top has always been more about that kind of like fast, grounded mobility, whether it's dash speed, run speed, walk speed, whatever his characters may have. The one thing is Astamata has proven to be good at dealing with both types. You know, like he has that kind of real brick wall defense. I think K-Top is definitely faster, but definitely doesn't have the same kind of level of confirms that I would say that H-Top has. The question is whether that is enough, because Astamata, if I'm being honest, my money is on Astamata here. I think he just is that ability to really slow down hyper-aggressive players. In fact, the only times I really can recall Astamata losing in Open Series is usually to players that are kind of playing the same speed as him, right? Like the Shang Tsungs, the Jade, Sindels, characters that really force him to slow down himself as well. And then you're playing a much more kind of patient, long-range game across the board. Whenever he has been met with hyper-aggressive characters or players, he tends to come off better in the end. However, I don't want to count out K-Top. I think K-Top really surprised us in his first round match when he was so close to losing, right? He went down 2 games convincingly to Monstar, and we thought for sure the set was over. And then he stuck the commitment out with the Fujin and ended up running back the mirror match to game 5 in one of the absolute most chaotic and crazy fashion we have ever seen. So I definitely am going to expect the unexpected from K-Top, but if I'm going by what I predict will happen, my money is on Astamata.
Look at both players. They've un-AFK'd, so we are getting good to
We
jump
are in character select.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us, by the way. This has been a good day so far. There's plenty more Mortal Kombat after this. We will be jumping into the North American monthly finals with no doubt a bunch of returning fan favorites in this new wave of competitive Mortal Kombat. Whoa! Wait a minute. What?
No way. I'm
He's
back.
Doing
I'm back. Oh my goodness, the I'm back Terminator. Hang on, wait. I'm pretty sure I saw the teleport. This could be a unique
custom Terminator, by the way. We haven't talked about it at all, but
we haven't had the opportunity to.
It's custom Terminator is kind of good, folks.
It's a problem.
If anyone's ever watched Omega K streams, you've probably seen a little bit of disgusting tech. However,
overhead, low, and teleport. I think. Interesting.
Is the teleport one slot?
Yes. And you can hold it. It's incredibly good at timer scamming.
I saw that. All right, let's go Terminator. Now, you are going to have to fight an extreme zone. So K-Top's plan here is get in once, that's it. He knows he's going to have to work his way in. But Terminator, I mean, you can give yourself so many insane options here. We'll see if it works. This might be experimental. Wait, full screen ground pound? And the leap? All right, well, we're already starting to see a little bit of this.
It's overhead, low specials, and teleport. Safe specials known as too, the safe overhead.
Now, will he have an opportunity to do it? Like, how long? What is the startup on this? Because some of these moves, they do belong to other variations. It's just variations that Terminator players never used in tournament. Now, wonderful block. The second we get close, this will be layers upon layers of mix. Overhead. He's going to look to catch this every time. K-Top, the second he gets in once, you know what he's looking for. And he will out-damage Asadamasa, actually. Always ready for the teleport. I am curious about this variation, actually. Low, here we go. This is where we are.
Again, that low, if you go for the roll, it does punish for the KB, the overhead. Oh, the amplify. So
okay. This is basically K-Top saying, when I get in, guess. That's it. I'm going to navigate this minefield, and then you're going to guess.
But the guessing isn't going to come from the kind of traditional overhead low plus grab. Even though the grab is there, this is definitely going to be much more of a, dare I say, MKX style real application. And I like this, K-Top.
Did you see that he blocked the ground pound and teleported in between the amplify? This teleport kind of good. Uh-oh, mix. Oh! Overhead low. Overhead, good block. Oh, we're punished. I mean, I've got to say, Asadamasa, he's actually done a really good job of guessing right. I'm going to be honest. I'm impressed.
We're punished on the way down. The teleport.
The answer. I did not think we would see this from K-Top.
Oh, no.
Terminator.
20%. Oh, but the wake up. Hang on, wait. Wake up fatal blow from Asadamasa is very rare. I feel like he is supremely uncomfortable right now to be doing that.
Wait. He's actually still good for me. He waits the teleport! Ah,
he interrupted! The interruption on the overhead. Oh my god.
The thing is, the second I saw that fatal blow hit, I just felt it in my bones that Asadamasa was going to win that round. I felt it. I felt that there was too much momentum taken away from that. Wait a second. Oh, that should have been game one. K-Top looking at it thinking, oh, so close but so far. And what's Terminator going to do here? Uh-oh.
If you go for the... there it is. That was a punish.
But he messed it up. That was definitely a weird execution error here from K-Top. He's not quite getting the punishes. You can see the ideas here, but just not the execution. It's failing him. K-Top, he's getting zoned out now. And now Asadamasa will wait for it. He's wise to the game. Oh, and he's counting.
There's that impatience. Oh, but it won't matter.
Here comes Terminator. What's it going to be? Knockdown. Oh, he chases it down. He had the right idea, but the wrong direction. Now K-Top. That's a jump in. I ask you a question. Does he stick with this variation?
I actually would like to see him stick with Terminator because he actually looks like he has the options. I don't think it's the matchup. I think it's his execution. Because teleporting in between ground pound for a guaranteed punish, that is really good. That is really good against this character. Teleport as the air projectile punish. Those are two really important parts of the character taken off the table because the teleport beats them both. One of them gets beaten on reaction, no less, as well. So I think this is definitely not a bad idea. He should
have won the game too. Like that. That's the thing.
He messed up the punish on. He teleported after getting hit by the fatal blow and messed up the punish, which cost him the round. And then in the last round, he teleported and then missed a punish on a whiffed beam again. So the ideas are there. The decision making is there. It is just this is a character that, again, you want to get a hit and turn it into amplified gun or damage, right? Amplified gun gives you a guaranteed 50-50, which in this variation is more than a 50-50, you know, as
but
the
clearly
saying goes.
clearly established that the low is the faster option. The overhead is the one that is arguably reactable, and also interrupting the overhead on block. So there, I wonder if that's off every string. Clearly, Asada Master will be learning as he goes as well. Like, he's getting used to this matchup. He got overwhelmed in the first round, but now we're starting to see it, I think. What's it going to be? Punish?
Punish, yeah.
That's what he was looking for in game one.
Now that string right there, the low into the knee, that will punish for a crushing blow against back rolls, which is why I think we're seeing Asada Master do nothing but forward rolls, because he's yet to fall for that.
Looking for maybe an anti-air, but no one home. There's the whole string. Teleport again. Wow, he recovers off that teleport so quick. It's like, what?
Oh, no. Literally jumped over a standing sentry on.
I think he did reprogram that teleporter and tell him not to do that anymore.
Punish again. Oh, he went for something more.
Oh, he went for something more. K-Top, stop doing the wrong leap, mate. He's doing the wrong version. This time, he's looking to enforce. Gotta watch out with this teleport. He's waiting for it.
Oh, he did it again! No, but I imagine he can cancel it, right? He can cancel the ground pound so it doesn't lose.
Oh,
he definitely thought that was
worthy
punish.
attempt. A worthy attempt. Definitely worthy attempt. Right.
K-Top, this is a style of Terminator I have not seen before.
I would like to see. Oh, he's got to watch out, K-Top. He has the right ideas, but I still fear that he's a little bit too impatient here. I know this idea is to deal with the zoning and get in. But the thing is now, he's kind of just playing into Asada Master's hand. You know, there's matchup stuff here, and there's a lot of tech, but he's being way too impatient. Asada Master is waiting for what is becoming now very obvious advances here. I see the method in this variation, but I just think he's too desperate to establish. Now, I mean, he's got to make quite a comeback here. He's got to have a lot of stuff working well. But I think that K-Top, he's got all the right components here, Mustard. He just needs to slow it down.
I mean, this is a comeback character, and it is a back throw, so never say never. Oh, the low.
Wait
a minute.
No!
Oh, there it is.
So nearly made a full-life comeback.
One moment of hesitation from K-Top was all it took. Now here's the question: that match looking a lot more, or a lot less back and forth, as Asada Master really seemed to kind of just get that life lead and know that K-Top was about to do something instantly to close that distance.
Okay. Can we talk about the fact that you can give Terminator that teleport now? Like, can we talk about that?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It recovers instantly as well.
And you can delay it. So if you think that, but you can hold the button to delay your reappearance. So if you think they're going to do something really slow recovering but big reward to punish it, you can just hold the button, let them whiff it, and then you come out. So they're really dangerous.
There's cheeky tech as well here, which is, and now he's going in for the Fujin. I do think that it's unfortunate to see it go this way, because I do think that K-Top has kind of fallen into being the K-Top that I remember, which is you see the ideas and things, but he often can be too impatient against people that are comfortable to just wait for it. Because look at that Terminator matchup. He could be 2-0 up with that Terminator. I think it is not the character or matchup. It is how he played it that led to the outcome. You know what I mean? I think he was way too fast. He was trying to just force the situation rather than letting the tools allow the situation to be created, and then you deal with it accordingly. You know what I mean? And Asada Master, we've got to give them props. That is not going to be an easy variation to adapt to on the fly, and he made it work. Not through zoning, but through matchup adaptation and ruling a character that wants to mix you up. Like, this has not been a Fujin match.
For Fujin versus Citron, this is definitely much more of a tried and true matchup. Oh, nice punish.
Now, Fujin will still have the tools to deal with this as well. Fujin, highly mobile character, so this could be the pick. Again,
K-Top already has done one reverse 3-game sweep with Fujin today, so it's definitely not completely out of the question that he could do the same thing again. And there's the needle, the raw needle, no less.
I want to see more Terminator in this new age for sure. Very excited to see. I mean, I'll stop talking about it, obviously, because it's not appropriate now, but... Oh! Out you get. It was just nice to see. Anyway, enough of that. Only one of those crushing blows to spend. Ooh, that's confirmed. Now, looks like this Fujin. Oh, think he was really banking on that third hit connecting, you know, and messed up his execution.
The important thing is he kept the corner, but no, only for so long. Now, K-Top actually did that a lot against Monstar as well. He doesn't forward 3, and then he would special cancel into the needle really late. Like, right at the time you would expect they will try and punish it. Almost make it look like there's nothing else. Oh,
and yeah. Acid and Massa special, never count him out. He's always ready.
Does it kill from this, though? Because it scales from standing 1.
I think he'll barely survive. There we go.
1% in it.
Check it out.
Oh, no! Instant Skywalk. K-Top with the hard read.
Can we talk about
down a little bit?
How you're always wrong with fatal blow damage and I'm always bang on the money?
That is a lie.
I'm a better twin than you, bro. Better.
I mean, you've opened the floodgates now, because
I am the more powerful.
You better not get one wrong. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not going to get it wrong. I'm not going to get it wrong.
You it will.
I won't even call it out anymore. I'll just quit while I'm ahead. But that's going to be the game.
No, you can't say that and then end there. No, that's lame.
I mean, the winner gets to do what they want. To be honest,
there was no competition until you made it one.
Yeah, always gotta. But no, on a more serious note though, this matchup is something that
it's very different already. I think
it is.
You see, there's a much less of a mix-up potential with Fujin. He doesn't quite have the teleport we saw from Terminator, but he just has the mobility, man. Mobility, the buttons to contest, the options too. Like on block, I feel like Terminator had to, with the way K-Top was playing Terminator, it was very committing. It was like overhead, my turn's definitely over. Gap in between the overhead, or I do a low, which is unsafe, but maybe it'll work and push you back to a certain range. Fujin isn't really like that, you know. He's about kind of just keeping you there. Skywalk options on block. He's just a pain, and then you throw Needle on top of it.
Fight.
A very big headache.
And it's also the way that K-Top is approaching this matchup. Every time he gets a jump in that he knows he can't get a button from, he's always option selecting it into the Needle just to get the extra damage. For those that don't know about the jump kick option select, something that was introduced a while ago actually, when you... Essentially the technique is that when you do a jump in kick, if you do a special move after it on block, nothing happens, and on hit, when you land, it does come out. So certain moves, you can kind of just option select it. So on hit, you get this awesome move. Obviously benefits some characters more than others, but just a nice little piece of tech to get that extra damage if a jump.
And it's not hard to do either, right?
No, it's very easy, very easy.
You just do jump kick, special cancel into Needle, and on hit you get jump kick Needle, and on block you get just the jump kick, which is probably going to be plus. So it's good technique, you know, if your character has those good options that will reach. However,
so many of these tricky jump-ins, you know, K-Top has a really strong sixth sense when he thinks you're going to try an anti-air. The Needle is only going to connect from that range, so again, looking for it. That forward 3, you know he had the fatal blow. He was looking for the confirm, and it's almost there, but immediately getting caught by the ground pound, and that will be Acid Massa once again on match point, but will it be lasting long? That's what I wonder.
Fight.
oh! No, diagonal boulder, but still catching out. And every time you get hit by a pushback, oh no! Big punish. Armor break threat too.
Yeah,
there it is. Oh, look at that
so
damage.
Dangerous.
350 anyway. That's not bad.
I mean, that's basically a down. That's a down 2 KB combo anyway, or whatever counter hit you get. Uh-oh, the wins. And even more of it. I think this might be all she wrote, folks. And at this point, it will in fact be Acid Massa versus Law Corridor. 2 players that actually, as far as I remember, they do play together online a fair bit. You know, they're often talking to each other.
They're 2 Combat League demons, right? You know, they play Combat League a lot. They're always playing in that rank space. And yeah, funny you should mention it, because this is actually a match we've seen on Open Series before too. The week that Law Corridor won all those months ago was against Asodamata in Grand Finals. You know, he was able to make it work, and it was a dominant win for him. So definitely GG's well played all around, and a winners finals. Quite an exciting one lined up, but that was a good set. You know, K-Top, respect for trying out the Terminator. Really looking like he had some really good ideas there. The teleport to punish in between the ground pound, and just the general use of the overhead low I thought was really cool. The Fujin does seem to be his kind of go-to comfort zone, though. The fact that he went to Fujin when he was down in both sets we've seen today does make me think that Fujin is the character that he probably feels the most comfortable on. But, oh, hang on. H-Dope getting 3-0 over Monstar off stream. That is a result for H-Dope for sure. Monstar has been on a bit of a tear recently with that Fujin, so definitely quite surprised to see that result. But then again,
this
H-Dope,
is
K-Top, they play together.
No, I tell you, look at this matchup right here. Yeah, losers bracket. It's very reminiscent of the older days. Injustice 2, Mortal Kombat X. We've got K-Top versus Nivek. We've got H-Dope down there going up against Omi. This kind of bracket reminds me of a lot more of like the local Greek Mortal Kombat tournaments that happened a few years ago. You know, before the situation that we're now in, as whenever there was an offline tournament, I know those three would always clash in different orders. And it's quite nostalgic, actually, seeing it. But we won't be seeing those matches because we have got to get through winners' finals. And then when the top 4 is decided on the losers' bracket side, we'll jump in and find out who's getting some of that money. So we're going to go for a break and set up winners' finals. Do not miss it. We'll be back in a few minutes' time.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown for Kano, the leader of the Black Dragon clan, and isn't afraid to fight dirty to secure the win, as is reflected in his gameplay. Kano is a solid character with a disrespectful and aggressive playstyle across all of his variations. It's all about finding which style suits you the best. Universally, Kano only has a few special moves, Knife Toss and Black Dragon Ball. However, the Black Dragon Ball can be done in the air and has a different attack follow-up whether you amp it on the ground or in the air, making it a quick check for opponents that need to respect it. Ripper is the main variation that sees play and has scary offensive tools due to the command grab and extended strings. The command grab gives Kano powerful mix-ups, and the extended strings add more damage to his overhead and turns his standing 2-4 string into a launcher. This variation is for the player that wants to shred their opponent with mix-ups. Dirtbag is unorthodox but powerful in the hands of a skilled player. This variation gains Acid Toss and Molotov Cocktail, which synergize well together as acid-covered players get stunned if they stand in the Molotov flames. And Vegemite, a buff which gives a hit of projectile armor to his Black Dragon Ball. The game plan for Dirtbag is to counter zone with Vegemite and enforce pressure with the acid, particularly around amplified acid, which creates flames near the opponent which can be deadly in the corner for unavoidable damage. Ratbag is the most gaining Snake Bite, a strong launcher, and Optic Blast, a mid projectile that replaces Knife Toss and does more damage with a counter hit crushing blow. This variation plays around Kano's long range buttons and is particularly good for whiff punishing and conversions. Kano is capable of being played in multiple ways, and his universal buttons and crushing blows all cater to them well. It's about trying them all to find which one fits you the best to make use of this Black Dragon scumbag.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the PS4 Tournament's MK11 Open Series. Our monthly finals for November is running along swimmingly at this point. We're now down to our kind of final set of matches. Winners Finals is just about to take place between two players that have actually collided online in and out of tournament quite regularly. It will be Law Corridor versus Asadamata. Law Corridor has been able to really demonstrate the power of Joker in the ultimate meta. Being able to mix and match all kinds of different moves with an already powerful base kit has made this character, I think, quite the monster. Arguably even more of a monster than he already was. And Cetrion, I mean, I think we can say the same thing about both of these characters, can't we?
Yeah, I think a little bit less creativity-wise, though, where I feel Cetrion has... I mean, in the eyes of a lot of the community, this Cetrion variation that we're seeing right now is straight up the best character in the game. You know, Cetrion has always been a top-tier pick for various reasons, but now you get that kind of like best of all worlds scenario where there are circumstances you might still want Geyser or there might other be options, but for the most part, this variation is going to be the most versatile. And then you have someone like Asadamata that's been playing Cetrion since day one. It's going to be very dangerous. However, Joker has a bit more options, but I can see the super jump being quite good, especially if it kind of gets above as, you know, upgraded versus Cetrion. Definitely was a matchup we saw a lot, and it was kind of really built around that kind of like super jump mind game. So I wonder, as a Jackie player that used the super jump, is Law Corridor going to be in that same kind of scenario again? Or is he even going to play Joker? You know, like I feel like a lot of players have to have something ready for Cetrion at the moment because of this variation and how strong it is. The question is, what is Lord Corridor's choice going to be? I would love to see him stick with the Joker though, because it's got him so far right up until now. And I mean, I can see this variation still being solid, but is that what we see? It's looking like it might be.
I think so. Two players that like to use the one variation, and the reason for that definitely, I think, is similar for both reasons, or both characters. Sorry, is more accurate, because Lord Corridor was posting in chat actually throughout the course of this and mentioning that this variation of Joker he believes has no weakness and covers everything, and it allows him to basically use exactly this one variation. That's it, covers everything. So this kind of matchup is really comfortable because you can just learn every character matchup, you can fight every variation, and if you feel like this variation doesn't have a setback at all, then you know that's it, you're good to go. You can just focus on yourself. I think this could be the one and only variation we ever see Lord Corridor use now.
We'll find out over the course of the set. As is winners finals, both these players are guaranteed top 3, but as this is the monthly finals, there's considerably more money up for grabs, so top 3 is definitely not where you aim for. You want to get as high as possible in this tournament. First place getting home like, so what, $400? It's quite a chunk of money, especially if you're this close to it.
And we continue to push. The corner pressure belongs to Asadamasa, but overcommits a little bit to the short hop. And that's going to be a nice little chunk of damage to finish, just shy of the round being over, but that's just the raw jump in. Lord Corridor taking the first round quite happily. But I think, you know, expect a bit of everything in this matchup. Both characters have got good ranged options, good mid-screen options, good point-blank options. I think they are very similar to each other in this custom meta.
Oh,
but that's a counter hit.
Oh, expecting the breakaway.
Yeah.
Oh, delayed. Unfortunately, Asadamasa a little bit late on that whip punish. Oh, again, that was a punish, but Lord Corridor didn't commit. Lord Corridor has no reason to commit, really. Such a life lead to have.
Just lots of patience. That's the matter. It's hard to play that ranged game when you don't have the life lead. That's one of the important factors, is that without a life lead, you can't enforce that. You have to come to the opponent, especially if the opponent has ranged options as well.
Uh-oh.
Chip like that. The low shot, super jump. I mean, that's always going to help you against Cetrion, isn't it? And it looks like Lord Corridor, he's looking quite...
Wait, one more of those and he's at Magic Pixel, so Aso has to be careful. Punish! Never mind.
Aye.
That's going to be one game down. That was a convincing game one too. Lord Corridor not looking phased in the slightest.
With how things are going, he could be breezing his way into Grand Finals. Because, I mean, let's look at the toolset of this character. And let's look at often what you need to be able to tackle someone like Cetrion. Even this variation, which does have, like this other Joker variation, is this Cetrion has a bit of everything. So there's no immediate weakness here either. But if it's zoning, you want tools that can kind of help you close in that distance immediately. A Joker super jump and a jump 3 of that caliber is a really, really, really good combination. And I think this could be quite a difficult experience for Asadamasa to deal with.
I think Joker's jump normals are why the super jump is good, because
yeah,
I mean, you just get to threaten them anywhere on the screen. I think your best bet is probably to hit him in the middle of the super jump, because if he has time to get the kick on the way down, there's basically no way you're going to be able to deal with it. But if you can kind of anticipate it and apprehend him in the air, then that might be your best bet, which for someone like Cetrion is possible. You do jump 2 into beam or whatever it may be. We have seen it before in the upgraded matchup, no less. So I wonder if that's a direction we'll see the matchup begin to go the more we see it get used. So I feel like Lord Corridor isn't really using too much of the super jump. It's just he got a life lead in both rounds and just got to play with the advantage that comes with it.
But
Because
an
Cetrion is
early
definitely a problem,
lead.
but yeah, that's a good start for Asadamasa in comparison to game 1.
So much of the fight is going to take place this kind of just inside jump distance, isn't it? With a matchup like this, it has to matter. He does want to keep him far away. Ooh! Get out of it. It's just no super jump for you, Joker. Get back there. A much better round with a lovely throw tech. Doesn't overcommit. I think he knows there's a real strong possibility there was a flawless block coming with that. And now blocking the 1-2-1. You know, a lot of people say things like, you know, there's a high at the end of that string. Why do people not duck it in tournament? Because the mid comes out and leads to so much, it sometimes is quite the hard risk to duck that launcher. You know, you need to make a hard read.
Especially there where, you know, you have a lot of life and Joker hits so hard, the last thing you want to do is do something unnecessary, and before you know it, you're in serious trouble. I feel like he didn't end that that combo in the special though, didn't want to get breakawayed. Because you can't get punished. If you break away right as the crowbar comes out, you actually do get hit. No confirm.
I don't think he was looking for counter hit there. He has breakaway available. Lord Corridor might have been more content to keep it. But there's a little bit of pushback, challenging it with his own natural barrier, just in case you try and flawless block the wins.
God, that Joker standing 2 has got to be one of the best highs in the game. I would say it's the best standing 2 in the game, for sure.
I mean, look at the range and the speed and what it leads him on here. Absolutely, I would almost agree with that. But now more pushback. But it is a game of range, lovely projectile. Whoop! Doesn't do a far super jump. He's trying to bait some kind of movement there from Master to Master. Full ground pound. Oh! Absorbs one, trades the other, so no crushing blow. Oh, he commits. That has to be it. Bang! Round over. Lord Corridor on the verge of being 2-0 up here in winners finals. We'll see if he can pull it off.
This would be a great turnaround if you're Lord Corridor. I mean, I actually feel like we're seeing a slightly more serious Lord Corridor now, you know? I feel like the first time we saw him, it was all trolling, it was like all maximum disrespect, and, you know, loads of like mercies and fatalities, and almost like, you know, having a field day with it, but not as serious as you'd expect. Whereas definitely this time, I feel like this is a new Lord Corridor. I know he's been putting a lot of effort into the game, a lot of time. I feel like he's definitely taken, like, even though he's still, you know, is a big trash talker, he isn't doing so at the expense of his own gameplay as much nowadays. And in fact, that's what we're seeing today. This is definitely a much more sensible Lord Corridor. And I feel like he's playing a lot better because of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's not getting mentally caught here either. Although, you know, he is technically down on life. This is a great opportunity for Astamasa, but this is the first time I've ever seen Lord Corridor play in tournament where it's all business. There's no messing around. He's taking it very seriously, and clearly this is looking like Lord Corridor at his best in competitive. Now, lots of chip and respect shown. The fatal blow for Joker. Absolute avenues to pull off these big comebacks. A trade that, you know, most situations you'd think would work out, but the respect being shown. Lovely throw tech. And that's a whiff punish. We could go all the way here. 1-1. Astamasa fighting back. And it's not through zoning this time round. It is through... I mean, like, the thing about zoning is, it's not like if we play from full screen, it's zoning. You know, so there's always mind games at play. There's always, you know, neutral exists everywhere on the screen. And when you look at a matchup like this, where both players have projectiles and good ones at that, both players have good mobility because you got teleport, you got super jump. Both players have range on their buttons. Both players can fight at point blank. They are playing a very similar game to each other. And it's like, Astamasa, I always think and constantly say that I know that a lot of people out there, you know, they might not enjoy his ranged game plan, but he's not a one-trick pony. That's not all he can do. When he has to brawl, when he's got to play footsies, like, he has other elements that are rock solid, and that's why you see him in top 8. It's why you see him in top 4. It's why he's won some of these tournaments. You know, he's so much more than I think people give him credit for. They just can't see past the Cetrion projectiles. You know what I mean? But there's so much more to him as a player than that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I feel like if you haven't seen it by now, you've just got to be looking to not see it. Because Astamasa has been so successful in online events in this game since the game first came out. You know, like, my man has entered countless tournaments. His top 8 ratio and appearance rate is, like, absurdly high. He did 2 events in the pro competition that awarded points in year 1. And those 2 events almost got him qualified. Like, he was, like, really close to being one of the qualified players in terms of point potential. And that's off like, what, 2 tournaments? 1 online event and Biennality, and that by itself was almost enough to get him in the running. You know, like, he is a seasoned, experienced, and very successful player. And it is not just because he plays Cetrion. Like Cetrion is very annoying to fight against for a lot of people, but there is no character in this game like that you just pick the character and now you can get top 8. Like, it just straight up does not work like that.
There's a lot of Cetrion players out there. There's a reason only Astamasa is the one this part of the world that consistently gets that top 8. Like, that's basically it. However, Lord Corridor really trying to fight this one back. That jump into Hell's Wrath, such a dangerous tool. Being able to cover that jump kick on hit, good, on block, you know, still good. Ooh, there's that up 3. But the throw text, I mean, you try and throw this guy, he texts almost every single throw that you put towards him.
I actually think his throws have been 100% this entire game. It's been really impressive.
And yeah.
Ooh, clean. And the
counter hit.
Roll, but he already used it.
I mean, he's just playing fantastic. His defense is rock solid. That's a nice cheeky little 18%. That low projectile with Joker, so good.
Corridor actually had the lead for a moment there. I'm surprised he was still going in.
He really wants to go in and get that damage, man. It's not his style to sit back.
Oh, I love that.
Aggressive player.
Knowing that Asso is going to block one box, so he sets up another one.
Far teleport. Now, does he have an opportunity here? A little bit of chip. The reaction!
Oh,
I don't know if that's going to do it. I don't know if that's going to do it. It's not the strongest fatal blow.
It definitely will. It's just on that point.
Oh, never mind. Yeah. You're right. Damn! How the mighty have fallen. Damn. I guess when you're at the top, the only way you can go is down.
That's your fault. You set yourself up for that.
I very much
did. Ain't taking no responsibility on your shortcomings.
But that was just a wonderful reaction there from Asadamasa, and he's actually 2-1 up with a dominating like first game. Very different.
What I love the most about that play is that was calculated. He knew he'd survive it. Like, he saw how much life he had. He knew he could take Joker's gunshot, and then he went for the trade. Because that was 100% like he was looking for that. He saw the gunshot, and it was an instant reaction. It wasn't just done. It wasn't just happened to be done at the same time. He saw the gunshot and he reacted, and he knew he had the life to take it. And that's where the knowledge comes into play, right? Like, and if you're playing a zoner, if you're mainly known for keep away, I can promise you that Asadamasa probably knows how much every projectile in the game does. Like, on amp or not on amp, on chip damage, whatever. Because if you're playing a character that does a lot of keep away, you do a lot of projectiles, a lot of zoning in general, you have to know where you can trade, what your trading exactly means for you, for those exact kind of scenarios, right? Can I trade this? Can I afford to take this projectile at the same time? And it is game-changing to have that knowledge.
Now, as we go into this next matchup, we'll see if Lord Coral can be able to turn this one round, because now this ranged game is absolutely going to Asadamasa. Cetrion, she has got more options from range. Now, as Joker, you have got a plethora of projectiles yourself, but with this variation of Cetrion, a lot more of them are instant. Lovely anti-air too, and it's just looking comfortable. Asadamasa, he's only taken, before that, it was one hit.
Punish the roll. Hello.
Nice counter hit. Let's go, bringing himself right back into it. What does he get from this? Asadamasa doesn't have meter for a far teleport, but he can wake up. So it is unlike him. Whiff again with punish.
See Corridor really wanting to get that KB up. The damage output when you have it is so good. This is otherwise quite a meter-intensive variation, though, so you definitely want to make sure if you get the chance to add that KB up, you're doing it. However, Fatal Blow is there for both players now. No hit can be allowed.
Forward dashes and the back dash. Asadamasa wants the button press out. Lord Corridor so bad.
Ooh, I like that.
I think he's just trying to use it up to make that grab a threat. If he gets a forward throw now, it's done.
So it's going to be aware of that. But that is also why Lord Corridor, yes, just had enough damage. I promise you that him doing that fatal blow and then having the crushing blow throw on deck was the reason we didn't see him throw once. He wanted Asadamasa to see it, to go, right, I've cancelled my fatal blow, I now have a 300 damage grab. So I'm going to do everything but the grab, because if you respect the grab, I'll kill you.
Go back, the dash in. That's a lovely confirm. Cheeky 20%, just like that. All of it unbreakable because there's no launch. Oh, there's the meaty. No Corridor, he's fighting back. Oh yeah, for sure. We're starting to see. Oh, but it's gone already with the pushback. That's a lot of respect being shown by Asadamasa. Oh, almost getting caught out. We start to push in, corner pressure. And another, I'd say confirm, but it's just setting up for pressure. The down one. Oh, he tries to whip punish, but he can't. Lord Corridor. Really trying to reposition. I think a bit chaotic here at the end. He's looking for a whip punish. Is it a potential round win? Asadamasa, he's not going to give it to him. Oh, the whip punish!
Underneath Asadamasa. He knew exactly the moment to get that standing one in between and just had enough. Lord Corridor was threatening the end of the game there and then so many times. He had that KB ready. He knew he was looking for it. Unbreakable. And Asso kept it together. My goodness. The composure. Fatal blow gone, but definitely worth it.
It is incredible.
Oh, here's the layer.
You can just only be ready for so many things when the character has this many tools. Oh! No low projectile for you. Lovely punish, but he's used the counter hit already.
And no bar to confirm either, so I actually think your highest damage was to just end the string anyway.
Oh, even more of the ground pounds. The barrier. Lord Corridor is trying so hard to fight back. The respect being shown. Super jump. And he commits!
Oh, there it is! 230 damage mix-up. Safe low, unsafe overhead. At least that much.
Here we go. Full screen game. Can Asadamasa finish it? Let's not forget that fatal blow and the grab, KB. Still there. Oh, but the active frames. The active frames, the teleport. The perfect call out. Now, will he do it?
May have ended the game, honestly. Yes, it has. As he burns the feet, those expensive shoes completely ruined. Asadamasa gets that grand finals winner's side. Now, we did say on Tuesday that Asadamasa going into today was going in with the biggest form of momentum possible. A big win on Tuesday, a dominant win, looking really strong, and here he is. You know, a few days later, grand finals winner's side. Asadamasa definitely feeling at his best right now. I think, you know, gets that grand finals, that's a minimum second place, that's a chunk of money guaranteed, and taking out Lord Corridor, who last time they fought in the, I suppose this kind of serious setting, an open series, Lord Corridor was able to beat him. So that adaptation, that adjustment through the months, Asadamasa really earning that winner's side spot of that grand finals. And now Lord Corridor, down but not out, drops down to that losers finals where he will play the winner of our next match, which unfortunately I'm pretty sure is not ready. So for I think the first time in maybe about 6 or 7 months, we don't have an X game to go to, as the H-Dope lost to Omi 3-1. So we are going to be seeing Omi versus the winner of Nivek versus K-Top, but that match is still underway. So as the match is currently going on, we can't spectate it in the middle of the match. We are actually going to go to an uncharacteristic waiting break while we wait for this match to finish so we can get underway with the rest of the tournament. Thank you so much for tuning in, though, my friends. We have a great rest of the tournament shaping up, and I'm very excited for how it's going to be looking. Omi will face the winner of Nivek or K-Top, and while that match finishes, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, 4th place, we'll be ready to decide, and then we'll go to the rest of the tournament for EU. We'll see you in a few minutes.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Kotal Kahn. This Oshtek warrior brings brute force to the world of competitive Mortal Kombat, where he hits hard, takes a beating, and provides different playstyles across all 3 variations. Before we even start with his variations though, Kotal Kahn is one of the few characters that sports more base health than everyone else. This makes you generally tankier and able to soak up more hits as you close in space, which is always your #1 goal with this character. His most popular variation is Variation 1, Ascension. It brings the Kahn cut forward, which is a full combo launcher. Amazing for using after strings and giving a combo off almost every single touch, which works wonders when you combine it with his long-ranged buttons. Ascension also boasts a command grab that majorly expands your mix-up game, which in this variation is strike versus throw. Totemic makes things a bit more wild, as Kotal gains access to a ground charge and an air charge. These can be amplified to be safer on block, and is useful to use after strings for this reason. He gains 1 totem in this variation, the Blood Totem, which allows Kotal to heal a portion of the damage that he deals while it's activated. Combine this with your base Sunray, and you can sustain more damage than most. Finally, Bullock expands the totem game significantly. A damage reduction totem that, as you might expect, makes you one hell of a brick wall if you activate them, and a damage totem that does exactly what it sounds like. These totems can be stacked to strengthen their effects, and Bullock in the right hands can be a source of devastating damage or to become the immovable object. Kotal is a real brawler in this game and is a perfect fit for those that like to get up close and personal with an intimidating offensive game. This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown for Cassie.
Cassie Cage.
One of the more recent additions to MK's Special Forces and daughter of Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage. Definitely playing like more of her father in MK11, she boasts a strong grounded game and long-range buttons overall.
No! No! But a punish! There it is!
Cassie is incredible at keeping opponents honest. She has some dangerous buttons in her back 2 as a long-range confirmable mid, and forward 4 for a fast confirmable mid. Her strong mids make it hard for opponents to disrespect her range and can have people feeling locked down. Her 2 main competitive variations cater to this in their own ways. Digital Soldier takes an already strong grounded Cassie and adds a reliable projectile in kneecapping. A mid shot that knocks opponents down for a chunk of damage, and due to Cassie crouching down, can be used to win zoning wars. This can also be amplified as a launcher that knocks opponents into the air mid-screen. You also gain Air Akimbo as an airborne attack, and Flippin' Out for an acrobatic leap that can be used to make things difficult to punish. Yas Queen takes Cassie in more of a buttons-focused direction, foregoing Digital Soldier's projectile game and focusing on confirming into the bubble for a stun, allowing combos anywhere with unbreakable possibilities, and the shoulder charge for fast whiff punishes and a dangerous presence when paired with the range of her back 2.
Play it out, Kano!
This variation is definitely for opponents who want to remain at a close enough range to threaten combos and damage, but not far enough away that your opponents will want to come to you. Cassie requires patience to fully utilize, but once mastered, can have opponents feeling stuck on a grid, whether they're being checked for moving in your space or kept at arm's reach with projectiles and max range buttons and anti-airs. Definitely a strong pick for players not wanting to annihilate life bars, but to do it steadily, one hit at a time.
PlayStation.
Welcome back, everyone. So we have come out of our break now. K-Top and Nivek finished their matchup, and the win went to Nivek quite quickly, as far as we've been told. So it will be Omi versus Nivek as our losers' top 4-side matchup, which is actually going to be a run back again. Omi was able to take out Nivek with a Jade pick, actually. So I do wonder if we're going to kind of see a repeat of what happened there. Just a continuation of the matchup, perhaps. Omi, historically known as a Sub-Zero player, but Jade has been the pick for quite a few matchups, actually. It's been looking a little bit better, but I do think it's just based on characters. You know what I mean? So we'll wait for a split second, and while we wait to get Nivek back into this lobby, I do want to thank, actually, everyone for their patience, for sticking with us, and kind of... It's been a first for a long time when the winners' finals are done, and then the loser side is still going. That's a rare occurrence.
It has to happen eventually,
Rare
and
occurrence.
happening going into the 7th month, I think, you know what, not too bad. You know, if it's gonna happen once, it will happen this far in. I'm totally fine with that, and thank you very much for sticking and waiting with us. But this has kind of been one of the main go-to points that we mention a lot, though, in the fact that we always do 8-man double elimination tournaments means that you have a lot of scope for runbacks. Like, we get a lot more runbacks in tournament thanks to double elimination bracket 8-man than we would a traditional top 8 where it starts with 4 from winners, 4 from losers. What that also means is we get to see a lot of runbacks, which means that a lot of the matches, the continuity of what's been going on from when they last played to now, you can really see it in the middle of the tournament. In this instance, Omi versus Nivek, Omi lost quite convincingly with the Sub-Zero for the first game, went to Jade with his own variation, and then pretty much annihilated for the next 3. It was a 3-1 set to Omi because of that Jade change. Now, the interesting thing to me, though, is that Omi has started with Sub-Zero again. Even though the Jade pick worked out a treat in winner's side, and the Sub-Zero didn't quite work here at all, he wants to go back for the Sub-Zero. And I think that is the sign of someone that he's a Sub-Zero player, man. Like, he's a Sub-Zero main, and he wants to make this work. This is the go-to variation for him that he used as well. The real question is, are we going to see anything different from Nivek? As Nivek is one for adaptation. But this is a match he won, so if he wins the Sub-Zero, are we going to be seeing an absolute repeat in every sense? Who knows?
I think it's always nice to be able to, I think, win a match with your favorite character. You'll have an answer. Omi will go into this knowing at the very least
that's
that
a change.
Yes, indeed. Just committing to the hard mix. Oh, nearly had he is. Quite so close. But here comes the corner pressure. Oh, the breakaway. He did actually change sides there. Nivek instantly, wow, sending Jackie to outer space. Boom. That's a high up uppercut right there. But a first round for Omi. Okay, all right. We start to see the Sub-Zero.
Round 2, fight.
I think it's safe to assume that Omi has probably been playing Sub-Zero in the losers bracket, so maybe there has been that kind of like early tournament. I don't even want to say like kind of discomfort because he is a Sub-Zero player. I don't think that's a problem for him. But when you've won that many sets with the character, maybe there's that kind of like newfound confidence.
Wow, raw slides. I think Omi trying to send a message, not afraid. However, there's the immediate turnaround. Jackie putting in towards the corner. Nivek playing mind games with that variation name, random fatal blow. It's not like him to do it. Is Omi going to be thinking about it? Is it going to be on his mind? Here comes some decent damage. We're going to break 30% with that one. Damage on the floor, and yeah, there's nothing you can do there.
Wait! Hang on, hang on. Speak too soon.
I don't know.
Oh,
No, because he's still got to
he's
get
dead.
close.
Now
He's still got to get close.
Oh no! The utility of grenade launcher, disgusting.
Yes, indeed.
Final round, fight.
Mayhem.
I love the way Nivek set that up as well, though. Like, he had the fire underneath him directly, then he took a step back and put some more down. If it wasn't for that crushing blow back throw, it would have ended right there and then. But Omi with the perfect decision. Whip punish, go bar, won't need it. Uh-oh. Look at that health just melt.
And even more of it. Oh, he's not got the crushing blow now. He still takes a bunch of damage to get in. Nivek continually just covering the bottom of the screen, right? Keep trying to close in distance.
Whip punish.
No break for you, and that is going to be the game for sure. Now, the question is, right, do we go to Jade now? Because what happened last time was Omi just changed to Jade, and then it was very one-sided after that. It was a totally different matchup. And I kind of think that after that first match, Omi's likely to do the same thing. Nivek just locked in that offense, and then what made it even worse was spending most of the game with his back to the wall. You'd normally think that's a disadvantage position against Sub-Zero, but when you've got that much damage on the floor, that for
100%.
Sub-Zero to damage you, he's got to hurt himself. That's
No, but
that's a
that
weird
is the
situation to be
reason.
in.
But that's the reason it's really scary, is because of its just completely out of this world utility. Because think about it, you have a character like Jackie she doesn't really have a huge amount of range as a base, but she's got amazing buttons when you're right next to her. She's got some of the best staggers in the game, plus frames on tap. Super jump and air blast gives her a lot of pressure opportunities. And if she's doing that while standing in fire, even if she's not hitting you, your health is just disappearing. So like the longer you feel like you're going to be patient and wait, or if she's got a life lead and she's just sitting in fire that she shot underneath her own feet, I mean, what do? You're gonna take damage in some way. It's just a question of how much you're willing to take to get that hit off, which is so much easier said than done.
Round 1, fight.
Now the change to Jade, as we expected. So, for those that might have just joined us, remember, this is what happened in the winners bracket when they fought, but it was a one-sided win for Omi. This Jade completely caught Nivek off guard. I do not think he was prepared for it. And then there were also elements of him just not being comfortable with the matchup either, kind of just getting hit by everything, whiffing all over the place, getting punished. Lots of down one into crease kick on block, which is normally, overuse of that, I think, is a sign of you just trying to force something in a matchup rather than, letting it come naturally. However, here we go. Omi off to a good start.
This Jade variation, not very flashy, but very effective. Function over form. Good chip damage, neutral control, plus frames. It's like everything that makes Jade good buttons and like neutral wise, this variation has. It just loses all the damage for it. But you get your damage on block and just constantly just chipping down with buttons. Oh, the pickup, Omi. Paying attention. What a clutch confirm there off that uppercut.
Round 2.
I guarantee no other uppercut in the game would have reached there. That was good.
Just Jade things.
Oh, where to where too. I like the way that, okay, so Jade doesn't do a tremendous amount of damage outside of launching KBs, in this variation anyway. So Omi is really squeezing all the damage he can out of every situation, whether it is air to airs, whether it's little pickups here and there. It's so important. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's the anti-air. Oh, he tried to pick up. Again, he's really trying to get as much damage as possible.
Now, Delia's dance. It is going to cover that gap in between Pack 3, 4, 3, 4. A little bit of extra chip as well. Nivek trying to sit into a safe place. Omi with a life lead and the projectile options. Nivek has to be very careful. There's a lot of chip on that glaive, remember. But the fatal blow in play. All Nivek needs to do now, one clean hit into a confirm, easy money. But the question is, will Omi make that particularly easy for him? Side switch for the less obvious throw direction. And he's just looking for a downfall. And
All right,
going
so
to
we
be
are
into more
seeing
chip.
deja vu right now. The exact same thing
indeed.
that happened in winner's side. Omi lost the first game relatively in dominant fashion. I mean, it went to round 3, but the last couple of rounds from Nivek really were pretty dominant. And now the exact opposite here. Now the J change has been made. Now, here is the real question. Does Nivek have anything he wants to try out here? Because this is now... His Jackie has tried 4 games against this Jade and just hasn't been able to touch it. Like Omi's Jade has been a big problem for Nivek with this specific character. Now Nivek, we have said he does play other characters, nowhere near as much as Jackie, and he historically isn't as comfortable in changing mid-tournament.
He was
But
thinking of
played-
Kotal earlier.
He has played
He was
Kotal,
hovering over
he has
Kotal,
played
yeah.
Spawn. But you have to remember, anyone you beat Jade with, you have to be comfortable going against Sub-Zero with too. You know, that's the next layer. Now, he was
This is the
considering
time
this
he's doing
before, but he didn't dedicate. Does he dedicate this time? Because this is the tried and true. This is just the big damage total right here. This is command grab, launch, and damage total. So you keep the good Ray, not the directed one, but you just have big damage on tap. This is going to be it.
So I think this kind of matchup, you know, the difference that's being brought forward is that Kotal, he's got a little bit of that extra health. He's got the crazy long range, and to confirm, this does tend to be the classic variation that a lot of players go. So you got Totem,
I would say this is the
launcher,
this is the
grab.
standard Kotal right now.
Yeah, for sure. It's basically Ascension, but you've given yourself the
Damage totem instead of the guided
damage
raise.
totem instead of the guide. Yeah, the guided raise, they're not very good, and it essentially
I don't think we'll
similar
ever see
to a
them
sub.
again, if I'm being honest.
Similar to a Sub-Zero player taking a move to replace Cold Shoulder, because they get both regular slide and the move. I think it's very similar of Kotal Khan to give himself normal Ray, because it's just better than the guided one, for the most part.
Round 1. Fight.
But we'll see if this change, whether it's going to do the job. I kind of like the... Oh, we're already going to see damage, yeah. So the one thing this variation won't do is armor break. The Khan cut does replace your armor break, but I mean... damage totem, and that's going to be buff as well. That's definitely not bad at all, is it?
No, not in the slightest. This is one of the highest damaging characters in the game. With this exact loadout, everything is built for damage. Command grab hits, more damage. Totem, damage. Launcher, bigger combo damage across the board.
Nivek, with any given opportunity, instantly popping the damage totem. And I think Omi will be blocking for his absolute life right now. And he expects a grab. That's likely to be the round. Meaty command grab just to finish, and you can see the entire difference of character. Now, this is a multi-layered thing, right? Because now, if Omi loses this game, probably going to back to Sub-Zero. You know, Nivek has gone into this character pick knowing he might have to fight Sub-Zero next. So he needs to be confident in both picks.
Now, two totems are the goal, 3 is a luxury. That's the real way. 'Cause you can set up 2 very easily, but getting 3 is where you really need something quite specific. Oh, big uppercut. I went to the Ray. Hang on, back to the wall, Ray. That's all good healing.
Absolutely. And I think probably expecting a grab with the neutral duck. Damage again. Nivek.
No, think about it. No, the healing Ray. This variation of Jade does very little damage, so if you can get yourself cornered and just sit in a Ray, she's almost not going to be able to kill you. Oh, he definitely... Oh, wait.
All right, no. Let's break that one down. Nivek tried to whiff punish the glow. Didn't quite manage to have, like, the pixels he needed
But he
to
was
reach it.
convinced that he had.
Yeah, and then Omi blocked everything.
I have
and
never
then
seen
got
that
hit
happen before.
by the final hit. Oh, double Ray. I like that. Double Ray. So, moving on swiftly from that absolute mistake from Omi, who is definitely shaking his head at that one. Getting hit by the second hit. There was no mix-up there. He just got hit by it. But
But it happens.
probably going to go Sub-Zero now. I think he's probably going to change back to his main.
Well, I really do like this change to Kotal Khan though, because the healing ray by itself is one of the strongest moves in the game. I honestly think that it has a lot of startup and recovery, sure, but if your back is to the wall and you're sitting in that, not only does it heal you a lot, but it hurts your opponent a lot too if they're standing there. I feel like against that variation of Jade, Kotal Khan is just gonna brick wall up, and if you try and if you surely there's no way Jade does enough damage to make it worth it.
What?
Okay, so another charge plus glide spawn. I had never seen any spawn players sticking with this variation since customs until today, and now 3 spawn players have stuck with it. So that's quite
3 spawn players.
So yeah, the glide and charging hell spawn.
You would almost never think that we were in an age of customs with that. Obviously, we are with the Kotal Khan, but yeah, I didn't think we'd see a day with 3 spawns in the same bracket of 8 players, all using a formally preset variation. This is definitely new to me, but we will trust Omi's judgment with this. It's now 2-1 to Nivek, so if he wins this game, he will be fighting Law Corridor in the losers finals. We'll touch a little bit on what the double elimination means a little bit later when it's more appropriate, but losers side, less of an advantage. Aston Master currently sitting pretty in grand finals. We're currently trying to figure out who's going to meet him there. And there's the cross range, but it's going to be an instant knockdown. That 1-2-2 mix-up, so good. Ooh.
Oh, I like the preemptive standing 3 though. Kotal Khan has the range, but standing 3 is going to have that speed.
Risky business letting that whole string rock, and I don't think Omi was ready for it. Not like Nivek to take a risk like that. However, damage totem, you have to break. No choice, but now here comes the buff grab, and it might even give him another totem, to be honest. He's gonna throw him full screen, totem up, and now you have to watch out. 1 touch could be it, especially with 2. Oh, the glide, fearless. Spawn saying, I'm out of here, man.
Still though, this is by no means over. Oh, there's that hit.
You're looking for it, and that's the round. He will amplify this, he will win the round. Boom, boom, match point for Nivek. And the damage totem Kotal Khan. Kotal Khan has become such a bloody powerhouse in this version of the game. Ultimate has been
It really is just terror. Oh, and again the clip. Oh, underneath. Oh, the trip guard.
Omi. His execution has not been all the way here with Spawn. I don't know what this pick was all about.
Totem. Totem 2? No. Oh, just a raw jump in.
Boom, boom again. Here we go. This won't kill, but it's going to come down close. Slamming
Sunray up. What can he do? Nivek jumped himself into the corner so he can Sunray.
Will he get the chance?
Big damage, for sure, but he cannot let that ray come out. It's over. That's it. That's why Nivek jumped himself into the corner, which in any other circumstance... You can Mercy, by the way. You could do that and then Mercy. It's the merciless Mercy that you can actually do.
It's the anti-Mercy to put 3 totems up in a Sunray and then Mercy someone. It's the worst thing you can do.
And they all stay too. But no, under any other circumstance, jumping yourself into the corner when your opponent's on like Magic Pixel is just going to be like a bad idea because it's giving them all the the offense and the damage, especially against someone like Spawn. But if you're doing it to get a Sunray that you can stand in, they have no way of physically moving you out of it. And the only way they'll actually get rid of the Sunray is like Fatal Blow, which is so unlikely to hit with someone like Spawn from that range. I mean, just look at it. He that's exactly what he wanted. The second that throw tech was done, that standing 3 was to stop it. Like Omi tried his absolute hardest to not let that Sunray come out. And even if you let the Ray come out and just try and like outspace him, you're just letting him heal. Like that was perfectly played from Nivek. And Nivek moving on to losers finals where he will play against Law Corridor in a match that I am super excited to see. Now we've got Nivek playing other characters too. The actual first showing of Kotal Khan in the European side of Open Series. We did see a little bit of Kotal Khan from Biohazard in North America a few days ago. But Kotal Khan, one of those characters that has so many different options. And I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing more of this character over in the future because Kotal Khan, definitely one of the most benefited characters from customs. I am a firm believer. And I hope we'll see more of him. Maybe even today if it's needed against the Joker, but who knows? I feel like the Kotal Khan was picked in response to the Jade, and it kind of just worked out from there. But yeah, that means our losers finals is guaranteed, and we are setting it up as we speak. Nivek is in the lobby. We're just waiting for Law Corridor to join. But we're already, I actually feel like today, I feel like we got off to a bit of a slow start, but I feel like we've really plowed through the rest of the tournament. I can't believe we're already at losers finals.
And just to remind everyone, it's not going to be ending here today. The second this concludes, we're going to take a bit of a break. Normally it's about an hour and a half or so. We'll let you know close to the time, depending on when this one finishes up.
But you never know what will happen.
But after this, we will be jumping over into the North American monthly finals. So we have an entire new set, 8 players, whole double elimination bracket, which actually, while we wait for Lord Corridor, hey, he's here. Wonderful. The double elimination format, we always understand that on PlayStation, Twitch, and YouTube, shouts to you lovely people for watching. Some of you might be new, and some of you might be unfamiliar with what we call a double elimination bracket. Basically, the way that works is you lose in winners. Everyone starts in winners. You lose in winners, and then you get dropped down into the losers bracket or lower bracket, depending on what tournament calls it what. Same thing. If you get knocked down into losers bracket and then you lose, you're out of the tournament. This is losers finals because Asadamasa currently waiting in grand finals on the winner's side, as he won the winners finals. Whoever wins this makes it into grand finals losers side. That basically means that you have to do a bit more work because the grand finals will be a 3 out of 5. And if Asadamasa wins that 3 out of 5, that's it. The tournament's over because he's on winner's side. If you're on loser's side, winning that 3 out of 5 will reset the bracket and then you have to play again. So basically, you've got double the work to do, but you're from the loser's side. I also, while I had production laughing in my ear, I see your face.
Okay, so Lord Corridor has all of his variations named after exactly what I'd expect, but my favorite one, do you remember when I said that because customs are a thing now, there actually is an option for players to be really BM and like really cocky and make a variation with no moves? He has a custom Joker with, it's just empty slots and it's called No Moves Needed. I knew Lord Corridor would be the first one to see that variation made. Oh my god.
That is amazing.
I wonder who the first person to do that in tournament is going to be. It's even called No Moves Needed. It's so good.
Like Lord Corridor, he's just built different, isn't he?
Oh, that's what he would have you believe.
Now he's quite good at fighting Jackie, actually, Lord Corridor. He is a Jackie player himself. Looks for the confirm. That 1-2 on soap.
No, actually, funny you should mention that because we only saw Lord Corridor play Joker before customs. We only see him bring out his Joker if he was against other Jackie players. Joker was his kind of go-to answer, and his answer was the jumping jester. That right there. He has that in this variation, and he has a super jump to go hand in hand. He has always looked really comfortable in this matchup specifically, and now he's got an even better variation for the way he's playing against it.
It's a wonderful combination. This could be quite a difficult matchup for Nivek. Wow, just swinging it down 2 as well. It's looking kind of uncomfortable, I think. Anti-air, clean, and he sets it up. Oh, there's the flawless block though. Nivek saying, no. Try again. Oh, he tries to catch the super jump. Not quite, no counter hit. Lord Corridor always looking for a counter hit on that forward 2. But this is looking pretty rough for Nivek in the second round. I think at this rate, Lord Corridor should be able to take that first game. Wow!
From Lord Corridor, you see the respect? Uncharacteristic. Oh, the perfect jump and 2 bars. That might be death.
Wait, he's
2
dead.
bars, fatal blow. Yeah,
that's it.
Nivek, he threaded the needle. He found the magic moment, and he had the resources.
Lord Corridor, as a Jackie player, no stranger to getting that himself. You probably sit there thinking, oh, so that's what that feels like. 1 round apiece here in game 1. Okay. Nivek finding the magic
more than
leap.
worth it. That was like perfect timing too. Oh, and Lord Corridor didn't pick it up either.
He was close. Didn't quite manage to fit the jump 3 in there. However, got a
Lord
life
Corridor
lead.
did apply the useful glue though. Dropped a combo into meaty throw.
Yep.
My goodness. Oh, the leap. Oh, but the anti-air.
He's taking a lot of damage standing in that. But he does manage to dish out a little bit more. So you know what? He'll probably take the trade in this situation. Gets the mid. Bit of pushback as always. Oh, tries to anti-air this time, but it's Nivek committing to just a complete jump in. But now the wake-up roll's been used. Nivek, trying to dash punch, but no success. And the range game, Lord Corridor definitely going to benefit from it. Has so many ways to control this airspace. The fact that Joker is really tall as well means that projectile hits nicely high up for stopping jumps. Nice combination. Oh, that was almost the game. Would have been game over. Nivek granted a second win, but it doesn't.
Until it was gone. There's the Jester again. Law Corridor always looking really comfortable in this matchup, even before. I really am impressed with what we've seen from Law Corridor today, because I know Law Corridor does have that, you know, the reputation of online trash talker and, you know, runs his mouth a lot. But when you see him in tournament today, this is the first time we've seen him in tournament where he isn't really doing that. Yes, obviously he's doing a bit of disrespect, but he's not doing exclusively that, right? Like, he's not really playing for it. I feel like he's playing really, dare I say, normally today, and I feel like it really has been impressive. Because I think the Joker is a good character for him. It lets him do what he wants to do. His mobility is there. His, you know, options are there button-wise. But at the same time, like, he's facing off against some seriously tough competition today. He's against Nivek right now. He's taken out over, you know, Omi, these pro competition players. You know, they've been Vianality or Final Combat in Nivek's case, you know, Intercontinental Combat Champion of last year. So this would be a big win for him. I know Nivek has been a bit so-so online. You know, he would definitely tell you himself he's not really an online player, but he's been putting in the effort to become an online player, so he has things to compete in this year. So, you know, he's definitely been doing his best to adjust, and he's been winning as well. You know, he quite recently won his first Open Series as well. Ooh, Winston anti-air, but no, mistimed.
Law Corridor, he's certainly been a player on the climb himself. You quite rightly pointed out there hasn't been any of the, or as much of the kind of the disrespect that he normally puts forward in tournament. A lot of the time, he's done to actually pump himself up, but he's been all business today, and actually showing a lot of respect to the people that he's against. However, comes the catch, damage, super jump right out of there. Oh, he still manages to get the anti-air, but so much damage on the floor. Tricky business. However, Law Corridor, you know, you can take damage over time, but if you're dishing out more, it's always still going to be a good trade for you now. Fatal Blow is ready for Nivek, and Nivek was able to get the magic leap in the last game. Can he do it again? Oh, he tries that anti-air. Joker's leap. I mean, like we've said, that super jump and the jump kick being so good. Oh, the pickup.
Anti-air, that was clean.
Corridor.
Round 2.
This could be his day. This really could. He's going to have to get through a formidable opponent in Grand Finals if he reaches it, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from this Joker.
Combo.
Combo.
Not a bad amount of damage either, 180 before the breakaway. It
Very
really isn't bad
happy.
at all. Again, no one's really trying to anti-air the jump kick on the way down. I feel like you just can't do it. A Joker jump kick, so active off a super jump, no less.
The thing is,
This is a commanding lead.
This back forward 4 amplify in neutral was already good, and now you can super jump off it. You can confirm it. Speaking of which, bang!
Oh my goodness, even without the KB, that did enough. Law Corridor are dominating 2 games in the lead now over Nivek. This looks like it's going to be a sweep unless Nivek can figure something out. We did see Nivek go to Kotal Khan earlier though, so he definitely has been willing to play other characters. The question is Joker appropriate timing? Because I really feel like I'm not seeing Law Corridor play anything but Joker today. I feel like this is a Joker day for him. So I don't think you really have to worry about the Jackie coming out. So you just have to pick something you think you feel better against the Joker. Because to be honest, we know Nivek has a really good Jackie, but Law Corridor is just looking so comfortable in it. Now, does Nivek think another character is the answer, or can he just play a different style of Jackie, perhaps?
Well, we'll soon
Law
see.
Corridor, he's just playing around the jumping game flawlessly. Now, do we see... I mean, Fujin definitely isn't bad against Joker. This wouldn't be a bad idea. But does he feel confident in it? He's played the Kotal Khan today. Kotal Khan versus Joker, I definitely can't
Nivek
speak
has
to.
used Fujin a couple of times in Open Series, but it's never been that successful. So I do always wonder kind of like how competitively practiced it is. Because I know he likes the character, I know he just played the character, but how much has he played the character? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Yo,
Okay.
he's rocking the Dimitri skin. Let's go. Let's go.
But the big thing is, I actually think this is the Foxy variation. This is the variation that we've been seeing Foxy play with Sub-Zero. If it's what I'm thinking of, is it Air Axe, Rising Ice, and... Okay, no, Creeping Ice instead. Creeping Ice. Okay, never mind. So it's a bit of a mix. This is a very solid variation indeed, though. So you forego the Amp Ice Ball, but you get the Air Axe instead for good neutral control, and a Rising Ice for big damage if you want it.
All right, so here we go. We'll see if the Sub-Zero pick's going to be able to reverse sweep. A lot of work needed for it. This is going to be no easy feat against Law Corridor, who has been looking so good today. But it really depends on these moves. So he's not going to have deep freeze in this variation, so the ability to go under some of these projectiles is not really going to exist. And I think that low projectile is going to be quite a good tool here versus Sub-Zero. Obviously a matchup that Law Corridor is more than versed in. So this is going to be still quite tricky for Nivek. But it's an entirely different set of tools compared to what he had before. However, there's the edge where doesn't get the slide, but he's out the corner. Certainly better than nothing. Flawless block from the creeping ice. Absolutely, we got those. And there's the punish. Now, Breaker is available. Uses it. Goes in forward two. But that's a catch. Just out the corner.
Oh dear. The wake up button's over. Nivek finds it. Now this is optimal damage mid-screen for the bar. You are breaking 300 for a start. But not going to matter. Law Corridor finds it. The downside to using Creeping Ice is you're not ending combos and amp slide, so you're not building towards the KB. But you are doing more damage in the initial hit, so it's not the end of the world.
Now this is the
hang
thing.
on a minute, yep.
No deep freeze means that's going to be a lot more annoying. Oh,
hello.
Almost looking a bit like the Joker hit a brick wall in midair with that one. Stopping so suddenly. Oh no,
the last
get the right
bullet.
jump.
Nivek had the right idea right into the last moment. Oh, but the hit confirmed. We are seeing a lot of characters today.
Oh, that flawless block. So good on the jump in. Corridor at this point. Way on the verge. Way on the verge of getting a win.
He's definitely looking for the breakaway. Oh, another hit confirmed. Okay. Nivek is finding a
is
lot of raw back ones. As we see him go for it. Overhead low fatal blow. He has. Oh, never mind. Oh, but the raw fatal blow. I mean, Nivek he did call his Jackie variation wake up fatal blow. It was foreshadowing. It wasn't meant for Jackie. It was meant for what's to come.
He didn't mean with Jackie, right? He meant with Sub-Zero.
Obviously, of course, we knew that. We definitely knew that.
Absolutely. It's still match point for Law Corridor, though. I'm going to say, I didn't know Nivek actually played Sub-Zero, so I didn't know this was a matchup we were going to see at all.
Me neither.
Oh. Oh, big trade. He does save his meat.
Quarter life.
I think this is going to be potentially the last ride, and it will. Slap, and then one more bit of damage left to go. This is looking pretty simple now for Law Corridor. An easy win. He's going to do his pop-off as he always does. Now, what's the finish going to be? Fatality or friendship?
Of course it's fatality.
Well, you say that. Friendship.
One, but it is still Law Corridor.
GG's.
You can teach an old dog new tricks situationally. They'll still prefer the old ones when push comes to shove.
Now, that is going to set up for a rematch. Law Corridor and Asadamasa went head-to-head in winners finals. It went to Asadamasa, which is why he's currently sitting on the winner's side, but now Law Corridor means he's going to have a chance for revenge. And I'm curious to see how this one goes. It could very much go all the way. We could even have a reset. We could be in for the long haul. Law Corridor saying, I'm sorry, chat, I'm going to sell my soul. I wonder if this means we're going to get a variation change or a character change. I think
he did say earlier on that he was going to play Cetrion, so
I don't know.
Maybe we'll see that. But if that does mean, so our grand final is locked and loaded. It is going to be Law Corridor versus Asadamasa, the run back. Asadamasa was able to win this dominantly 3-1 in the winner's side. Now, the run back is happening. If Law Corridor's words are to be believed, we will likely see Law Corridor actually play Cetrion himself. Most likely the same variation, because that's
which was grand finals of. I mean,
last Tuesdays, yes.
Tuesday, a few days ago. It was 3 days ago.
However,
The exact same
why I wanted to bring it up, because Asadamasa won that as well. Like, he is good at the mirror match, so I don't know if it's going to be quite so simple. However, it is a match that we have guaranteed ready to go now. Grand finals locked in. Asadamasa winner's side, Law Corridor on the loser's side. This is the monthly final, so there is a lot more prize money up for grabs. We'll talk about that more in depth, however, as we come back from this up and coming break. Thank you very much for sticking with us, my friends. This has been a really good day of European tournament action. We have one set left to go before we seal the deal for November for Europe. North America is coming up as well, but we're going to finish Europe first. See you in a few minutes. Grand finals will begin then.
The PS4 Tournament's Open Series has been full of fantastic finishes, killer combos, and a friendship or two.
I would not trust his ability to cook anything.
We've seen promising new players and household names continue to dominate. Do not miss a single moment of the PS4 Tournament's Open Series monthly finals.
PlayStation.
This is the MK11 character breakdown, Baraka. Baraka makes his return to Mortal Kombat in MK11, and it is one of his absolute strongest appearances in the history of the series, if we're talking gameplay. But if we're talking variations, there's a little something for everyone here. Marauder is the most straightforward, but also the most heavy-hitting. You can extend some of your normal attacks to go a little bit further using Baraka's blades, which is good for sneaky little jump-ins. However, the main tool here is Gutted, a full combo launcher that can be confirmed off pretty much any string that you have. On its own, it does good damage and even has a massive damage crushing blow attached, but on Amplify will always combo into some of the highest practical combo damage in the entire game. Bone Picker is where grabs and control come into play. First of all, Baraka gets a command grab that keeps the opponent on their toes, but it also works really well as a combo ender and can convert off jump kicks, and even your crushing blow forward 4-4 string, because the command grab reaches far enough. But it's not just a command grab we get here, because we gain a spine burst special as well, which not only has a massive hitbox on it, acting as a near perfect anti-air, but it launches in the corner for meterless combo potential. This variation is scary up close thanks to the command grab, but establishes complete control of the air thanks to Spine Burst. Scary in the right hands. Finally, Berserker. The blade charge is fast, advancing, and great to end combos with. But the blade charge is also Baraka's armor break attack, and if it breaks armor, let me tell you, it hurts. Berserker gains the Barakazerker, which hits multiple times, does fantastic grounded damage, and it can be amplified for more damage still. Just watch out because it does have a flawless blockable gap in it. The final move Berserker gains is the Leg Kebab, a low hitting attack that restands the opponent on regular hit, and it knocks down for more damage on Amplify. The main thing is that it hits as a low attack, so in strings he has that can go overhead, Leg Kebab offers a mix-up. Baraka has a solid projectile in Blade Spark, crushing blow throws off both directions, fast buttons with decent range, and a heavy hitting kit.
PlayStation.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the PS4 Tournament's MK11 Open Series. Our monthly finals for November is just about to come to a close. We have the grand finals, Set in Stone, Law Corridor, and Acid and Matter, two players that have played many times online, and they will collide again today. Joker versus Cetrion could be the matchup, but from what Law Corridor was saying, it actually might not be.
Yeah, Law Corridor has exclaimed that it is time to quote-unquote sell his soul, which I originally thought, because I remember seeing in chat say before he was going to go
Shang
Cetrion.
Tsung.
But it could be the Jackie. You know, we haven't seen Law Corridor play customs with anything but Joker since the patch, but it's fair to assume that he is still playing Jackie even after. But the important thing for both these players, though, is what are they playing for? This is the monthly final, so there's a lot more money to play for than usual. First place is going to get $400 and 5,600 time crystals, and second place is going to get $300 and less time crystals. But as good as those in-game cosmetics and items are, for these players, you know, you're looking to be a competitive player, it is about that money, and that is what both these players have guaranteed. You know, minimum $300 definitely isn't bad at all for, you know, a couple of hours of Mortal Kombat. But the real thing is get that money as well as being the November champion. This is the first month that we've gone for customs. Not even been a whole month, right? It's been like 2 weeks, I think. 2 weeks of tournaments we've had customs so far. So to be the
It's
first,
still week 2.
Yeah, to be the first MK11 Ultimate Champion, I think is quite a thing to be proud of. It's quite an achievement.
But you know
as
what
we
has
move forward
been
into the rest of the year.
really good. And again, you know, we always thank. Actually, wait a minute. Oh, hang on a minute. I will expand on what I was going to say. His variation is called For Asadamata. And he's gone in with Jackie. What is the variation? Let's see what it is.
I assume it will be the Jackie bounce.
Indeed,
it is. This is the buff
Jackie.
graded.
Buff graded. But will it be enough to win the tournament? That's what I was going to say. Now, before we start this grand finals, I do want to give a massive thank you to Sony and PlayStation for the Open Series. I mean, let's look at what's happened, right? Ultimate has been out for 2 weeks. We've had 3 of these tournaments, being able to see customs and the new characters and everything else. We've had a lot of competitive gameplay to sink our teeth into, and we do very much thank them for this opportunity. You know, it's a great sequence, and now with this starting matchup, I mean, Law Corridor just going all out to begin with.
Now, this is the
Bloody
matchup
hell.
they played when they played all those months ago. The week that Law Corridor was able to win his first Open Series championship was against Asadamata in this exact matchup. Just at the time, it was upgraded versus Spring Cleaning. The game's changed a little bit from then to now. You have to remember, in winner's side though, Asadamata had a dominant win over Law Corridor. So we see the same thing now. Remember, Asadamata is on that winner's side, so he only has to win 1-3 out of 5. Law Corridor coming here from losers with punish is going to have to reset the bracket, which means he's got to win 1-3 out of 5 and then do it again. So all the work in the world to be done for Law Corridor, but he did take that first round dominantly, but a missed flawless block.
I feel like
spell
that-
disaster for the rest of this round.
They're just going to take it in turns to absolutely annihilate each other
Oh.
round. Flawless victory for Asadamata. They've pretty much traded them.
Final round.
Okay,
Fight.
this could be how things go, folks. Taking it in turns to get one-sided rounds. Lovely anti-air. Oh, but
Oh,
that's
count it.
Bam!
Oh, we're punished. Down 2 though.
Not far, no, just too far away. Too far away for a crushing blow.
Confirming it as well, not cancelling. Actually, no, didn't have the defensive bar to cancel. Never mind. It's quite a commitment for Asadamata. Oh, just in time to catch that boulder.
Now this is, while this game is incredibly quick, there is a lot to really kind of break down as we go through. You know, Asadamata wins this, it's over. Law Corridor has to reset this bracket first and then win another 3 out of 5. So he needs to keep this pace up as long as he can take it. But this should be the first game, and it will be Grease Kick. What a start here. But this is basically the complete clash of styles, because this whole matchup is going to be the most defensive character in the game, arguably. You know, I've got to say arguably, because it's always up for debate, versus the most aggressive character in the game. So when these two characters go head-to-head, it's just wild. It's madness.
You can always just go have the easy way out and say one of the most defensive versus one of the most aggressive, you know. And that's it. It's up for debate.
Up for
Still
debate.
though, Law Corridor playing this. I'm not at all surprised to see him playing this variation of Jackie though. I feel like this really has been the kind of, everyone that was playing upgraded for the most part has pretty much moved on to this version of Jackie, because it's like I've said before, the muscle memory is all there. Your combos are the same, your confirms are the same. It doesn't really feel like you're playing that much of a different variation. You just don't go for the ground pound, and the grenade launcher has different utility to what you would normally use. But your confirms, your unbreakables, your kind of general pickups and conversions, they're all the same. You know, because it's all off of air amplify moves that have the same kind of hit reaction. So it's very similar for upgraded players. So this is the kind of very go-to next logical swap, I think.
We go back to this full screen game, which doesn't last long in this matchup. Jackie being able to leap and get one good jump in, and that's pretty much it. She can lock in that pressure for a lot of the round. Asadamata has to zone like his life depends on it, because it does in this matchup. There's always a question of which is the most dangerous variation in the game. It can actually sometimes be a toss-up between these two variations. You could even be looking at the two strongest variations in the entire game right here. You know, at least right now with competitive, that was a good catch for Asadamata. Amplify for extra damage, amplify for extra plus frames, just in case. And it will be round 1 for Asadamata. I want to see if the Italian can make it all the way. This would be a very difficult opponent to get through. That Law Corridor. Back to this full screen game. But it is...
Oh, big whiff.
Oh, Here we go. Bang.
Oh, okay. Did not to finish. Oh, point blank boulder. I don't know what that was about. Asokamata looking uncharacteristically uncomfortable here.
Flawless walk up too. Maybe thinking that there wouldn't be as much pushback there.
Well, I do
for an
imagine how
opportunity.
different this matchup is now that Dash Punch has basically been taken off the table.
Oh yeah, for
Beforehand,
sure.
that was a constant threat for Cetrion. But now, definitely not so much.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Ultimate did change it, so Jackie Briggs, her dash punch is now unsafe on block. It didn't used to be. So now it's not really this tool you can just throw out there and on block you're okay. Oh dear! This is absolutely going to bring us to a 1-1, and it will. Okay, that's now going to be one game apiece. So as we start to tie things up here in a grand final, you start to talk about the journey of either side, right? Asokamata, 2 more games, he wins. That's it, November, wrap it up for Europe. For Lord Corridor, those 2 wins that he gets just means he has to do it all over again. So Lord Corridor, the thing about Lord Corridor is that Asokamata is definitely more tournament seasoned in this respect. You know, Lord Corridor, he's one of our sort of newer competitive players. MK11 has definitely been his kind of like breakout game, whereas Asokamata, you know, he competed in MK11 at high level, Injustice 2, MKX, maybe even before that, but I know a lot of us saw Asokamata in MKX for the first time. So there's different levels of experience here, and in a grand finals, that experience can actually be the deciding factor for how your stamina lasts in these like longer sets.
But if you are going on the winner's side, you know that you could be done and dusted quite quickly. You know, it's just a question of being able to really make that the case, especially if you're someone like Asokamata, who's been in many grand finals in the Open Series. You know, he's won. You know, he's won numerous of these tournaments in Europe. He's won, at the very least, a lot of grand finals, almost guaranteed top 4. Like, he has been in this situation more than I would say anyone else in the Open Series for Europe. So he's going to be able to do both, right? Like, yes, he can win sets 3-0, but he's not afraid to go the distance either if it's necessary. But that also comes with his experience, as you pointed out. As a dash punch, just to try and close that distance. Yeah, he's so much more careful with it now than usual.
Uh-oh, there's a big neutral jump. Always feels good to get a neutral jump like that.
Haven't seen that pickup before. Was that standing 4 or standing 3?
Big damage too.
Regardless, I haven't seen it until now. That was good.
Oh, wonderful call out on the lead. Just the immediate teleport, no fear. Asokamata, is he going to be able to do it? The wins, push back. Lots of chip. What's buffering the lead? Trying to bait it. But now it's a tricky
ground
business.
pound, not the highest damage in the game, but
Oh, active frame.
will definitely catch you off guard.
Now, what's it going to be here? It's so hard to call it because Asokamata, when he's at the full screen, he has that distinct advantage. But you do have to play heavily around what this one call will be for Lord Corridor. You know, one big leap, one good jump in, like right there. Now he's in.
Oh, but it's, yeah, has to go for the lead to try and chase down, but spends all that defensive bar in the process, gets a hit, but can't take anything off of it. Lucky it pokes Lord Corridor, absolutely desperate to just keep this offense going, chases down the roll, no bar, knocks away again.
Everything is
Corridor,
sending
a lot of damage very quickly, but it all just keeps sending far away. I think that's what you're about to say. Every hit just keeps knocking him away.
This is a big problem though, because you land damage and you give Cetrion the opportunity to even it back up. Oh dear. Wait a minute. Launch. Breakaway for Asokamata. He's confident. But now he has to be careful with his jump in. Lots of chip on the way. Blocking the grenade launcher. I mean, it does mean that he's not going to take the damage on the floor, but there's the poke into grease kick. All right, that's
we are kind of just trading game for game. Like, it's really hard to tell who's actually doing better here, because I feel like we're just seeing non-stop adaptation. Okay, advantage and again. Okay, last time Lord Corridor jumped out because he read a throw. This time, Aso jails a button. That is the adaptation we'll see there.
Blocking that forward 2 string, definitely.
Whoa! No! Just in time.
Oh, and the meaty boulder. Cetrion really likes to meaty with that just to get some plus frames into even more. Lord Corridor has to do, this whole sequence has to count. He really can't take
fatal blow, so it's definitely not impossible.
Oh, yeah.
And the ground fire underneath, the grenade launcher. Uh-oh. Oh, the chip. Can't get hit by a poke now. Poke on hit or block is going to be poke into barrier, most likely.
Heck.
Oh, and there it is.
Asokamata now 1 game away. 1 game away from winning this tournament. And that will close up November for Europe. Lord Corridor, I mean, we could be so close to finishing things off, but this double elim format the fact that if Law Corridor resets this bracket, we're going into a fresh new set. But with how much momentum Acid Mass is currently sitting on, this matchup does tend to be the real kind of extreme of one side or the other. You've got the crazy, aggressive, fast-paced Jackie, especially now, because you've got the grenade launcher, which just makes things even better. But then you've got Cetrion, who now has more ways to kind of fight up close, brawl, but also, kind of keeping those full screen tools anyway. It's a real demonstration of some of the best characters in the game. Now he's going back to Joker. He's betting it all on the favorite. We'll see if he can do it.
Well, this is definitely the character he's made the biggest splash with today. There's no getting around that. Law Corridor's Joker definitely has been the character I would say he's put the most time into since the patch. It's the one he's been seen playing online the most. And yeah, I'm not surprised to see him at the very least try this now, because whether it works or not, going to go down with the main character, or you bring it back with the main character and have the ultimate momentum shift and just absolute morale boost that comes with it going into the reset. So one of the two is going to happen. That should grab it again. Law Corridor, his Rotek's been so good today. Ooh, clean over, but no pickup this time. Rare footage of that kick not being confirmed into something. Oh! Woo!
Now, is this Joker going to be able to pull it through? No, this has been Law Corridor's pick. This has been where the time has gone. They do have ranged options, but if Acid Massive gets that, the teleport versus all these projectiles too, it creates an interesting mind game.
Okay, another hit. Decent damage. Even without the KB there, still does a lot of damage for what it is. Oh, and there's the clip. Now, Law Corridor, if he can win this game, he will tie things up to a game 5, so this is definitely doable.
It'll go back into that tournament stamina that I often talk about in the grand final.
Look at the resources. Acid Manta has nothing. Dead.
Chip.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, that chip, so good. Have to flawless block that low, but on block, it can't really... I mean, as far as I'm aware, it can't be done off a lot of things. But the importance of it, especially for full screen.
No resources, right? Like, what
yeah, exactly.
Done about that?
Exactly. No last breath. Wow, reversal punish. Okay, wait a minute. Cancels the forward 3. I do like that. You can cancel the forward move with the forward 3 into a button. A lot of players like to do it to kind of almost like cover a forward dash into a low projectile. Still a piece of
rare. The full string follow-up is so easy to whiff punish that it's almost like you do it to make them stop, so they wait for the follow-up just to not do it.
There's the knockdown. Very little of this match is being played from point blank, let me tell you. It's been a ranged fight. Maybe not now, though. Looking for it. No flawless block. Ooh. I think he must have tried to there. Getting hit by the second hit. The boy.
Another leap straight over.
Oh,
okay, crushing blow.
30% gone. Kill. It will activate crushing blow for Cetrion, though. Don't throw a projectile. Asso's looking for it. Wasting no time. Whole string. Push back. The boing. The cancel. But this won't kill. This will not kill.
Great way doing take 5. Forward take the throw.
No, but the wake up fail. No!
Well, I actually think he was reading that. I think he probably read either a low, because low gunshot would have chipped out too. Give the defensive bar. No, he did. So low gunshot wouldn't have chipped out, but it would have taken to last breath. And I think Fatal Blow would have anti-aired the leap, and it would have beaten a straight up, set up or normal gunshot. So that Fatal Blow actually would have beaten final round.
Acid Massa, he's on tournament point right here. Law Corridor, if he wins this round, will be going into a game 5 before even the reset. The difference between the amount of work here is staggering, but it is Acid Massa's reward for being winner's side. He defeated Law Corridor once already to be here. What's it going to be? All right, down 4. Using the down 4 to just create space. Not having life. Oh no! Couldn't amp it. Didn't have no meter. That would have been a 20%.
The bar came back in the middle of the move. Oh my god! They all picked up. That is unreal. The punish. Uh-oh, this could be it.
Game 5 it is. Game 5 it is, and that's Law Corridor definitely trying to pump himself up with that little bit of micro disrespect. But it didn't last long because we're going into a game 5, and here we are. Game 5, folks. Acid Massa wins this. Tournament's over. Law Corridor wins this. We do it all over again. So there's a lot to play for right here. And monthly finals, more money to play for. And I think just the bragging rights of being the latest champion, really, isn't it?
The pressure is up. You know, there's a lot to be won here. There's a lot of Europe and Russia's best players do enter the Open Series now. You know, like right at the start, I felt like it was a bit of a slow burn for some of the community where, you know, some people, they didn't want to go into online tournaments right away. Some people were kind of holding off and waiting for the chance to see what happened in the offline space, you know, see if traditional events come back. But now we are 6 months going into our 7th month. I think a lot of players like, look, if I want to compete, I've got to do it online. And the Open Series, if you're in Europe, is pretty much the only way of doing it consistently. So we are at a point now that winning the Open Series is very impressive. There's a lot of money to be played for, especially on a weekly basis. We are seeing some of the absolute best that Europe has to offer all the time. So it's a good tournament to win. You know, if you're looking to prove yourself, you're looking to get some of those results under your belt to really move forward with, Open Series has been a great way to do that, and getting a monthly final win is even more impressive, and there's more money for it too. It's the best of every side of it.
But as we now go into what might be the final game, it might not be, you know, we've still got time, but pressure's on really for Lord Corridor. As for the Master, he's already proven so many times that he's not really one to ever choke under pressure, but Lord Corridor has been in this position much less than Asuna Mata has. This matchup, you know, it's not really going to change so far. The immediate jump kick into the grab, and this is classic stuff. Lord Corridor, this super jump is very important in this matchup. That means that he's
definitely is also one of the things that has clearly got Asuna Mata the most uncomfortable. We're not seeing it air-to-air, we're not seeing it anti-air, he's not flawless blocking it. He's kind of just letting Lord Corridor do it, because I don't think he has any other ideas right now. Oh, but there's the confirm. Is that enough to kill?
That's actually the round
by itself. Yes, it will. Okay.
Yes, it will.
Wow.
22%.
We'll be looking at chip damage to finish off maybe, but no. Tournament point again for Asuna Mata.
Round 2.
Right.
Fight.
Potentially one round here. Oh dear, that's starting things off already. With that 20%, all of it unbreakable, as there's no launches right here. The wins for the pushback, looking for another button. Lord Corridor squeezing out the right down four just to go under. The teleport call out from Asuna Mata, saving his meter, really trying to fight up close. This could very much mess up Lord Corridor, because now he's done so much damage, he can go back to this ranged game, and he's got so much more work. Oh, he looks for the crushing blow, but not quite. So close. And he's not able to teleport either. Lord Corridor, wait a minute, he's fighting back. He is so... Oh! Able to quickly leap over. Jake, I don't know what to make of this.
Well, we're finding out in real time. Oh, the in-place teleport. I actually felt like Lord Corridor was expecting him to go behind, but was able to pick up. Oh, the walk again! That delayed dash up mid.
The flawless block!
That was so close, but no!
Another tech! Lord Corridor, could he not have done standing 2 into fatal blow after that? I'm sure he could.
I don't know. It's Joker's fatal blow, so there's a bit of delay. Is that dead? Is that dead?
Survive by 1%. Right, no last breaths. Oh, no super jump for you. Asuna Mata is going to win yet another Open Series, but this one's going to be the monthly finals. Well played to the Italian. Wow, Italy owns quite a few of these monthly finals, don't they?
No, I mean, this is Asuna Mata's 5th weekly and his 1st monthly, believe it or not. I actually find that wild, how Asuna Mata has been playing for so long, and he's been in plenty of monthly finals, but he just has not been able to clutch it out when push came to shove in the monthly finals. But today, we are seeing a different side of Asso, as he's able to take that dominant win from the winner's side. Didn't get sent to losers all day. That is the best kind of win you can have, and Asuna Mata more than deserving, as he's been really putting in that time, putting in the grind, and the results really speak for themselves. Of course, GG's to Lord Corridor. Congrats on that 2nd place. Enjoy your chunk of prize money as well. That custom Joker looking very dangerous today as well as, you know, it's nice to see 3 Greek players in top 8 for a start, you know, as well as Russians being in there too. Overall, a really good and satisfying EU finals, and I'm happy to have seen it. So GG's everyone. Thanks for playing and thanks for watching. But this is by no means...
It's been a fun day.
Yeah, no, it's been a really good time, man. I mean, just look at the brackets. It's been a great journey all around the board.
So, if you enjoyed today's action and you like watching Mortal Kombat 11, you're in luck, because we have an entire rest of the day to get through. We've finished Europe and CIS, but now we're going to be taking a bit of a break. We'll be back in about an hour and a half to kickstart the North American monthly finals, which is likely to have those returning faces that we know and love. You know, we'll pay attention to when the bracket is ready a little bit later. As you can see, which I really, really, really like, is that it's not just Mortal Kombat in the Open Series. We have other games, right? If you like FIFA, if you like BB Tag, you know, the rest of the roster. There's actually a lot of open series action. You know, it's the shows continue.
Very good.
You can find it all on the Twitch side, the YouTube side, you know, different commentators, a lot of talent at work and hard-working people behind the scenes making it all happen. But it all stems back to PlayStation and Sony for the Open Series that we all very much appreciate, especially this year, which has been an online year. You know, I've got to always really echo the fact that it's been a tough year for a lot of us, especially those of us that the bread and butter is live events, offline, the majors, which haven't happened, understandably, and online has been what we've had. And the Open Series has allowed many communities to come together and still enjoy competitive action. Players that can grind and reap the benefits of their skill has been enabled thanks to Open Series.
And if you like watching, no, of course, 100%. Huge shouts to Sony, PlayStation for putting this on and giving us stuff to commentate, stuff to watch, stuff to play, and it's been great. And if you do like watching Open Series, like Ryan just said, in about 1 hour and 40 minutes from now, we're going to be back with the North American side of the monthly finals. And there is 5 days of Open Series monthly finals for different games in a row starting today. So lots to watch, lots to enjoy over the weekend. And we will see you at, well, 10 p.m. for the UK, whatever. I think it's like, is it 5? No, hang on.
It's like
What
an
time
hour
is
and a
that
half
for North America.
We'll
2
just play
p.m.,
safe
that's the
and
one.
say like an hour
It's
and a half.
No, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Pacific time. But an hour and 40 minutes from now, basically. We'll see you for North America. Thank you so much, everyone. We're going to go for a break. I suggest you do the same. Go get some food, have a drink, whatever it is. And we'll see you when North America starts. Peace out.
PlayStation